Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharp in Friday night. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. The craft with steady flow, steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. Steel. Every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked in, they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juve on streaming, doing the trick. Resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juve on streaming, doing the trick. Roll.
A little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 Do you know that you're right or wrong?
The light went out because we only had a little bit.
What is up, guys? I hope y'all can hear me. My computer's all crazy. Marco's here. What's up, brother? My man, Fed Harrison. I'm going to call him Red Shoes Fred. Red Shoes Fed. What's up, Red Shoes Fed? The Roman gnome himself, Richard Hopkins, channel member, in the house. Good to see you, brother. We're going to have a special guest on later tonight. We're going to have Andrew stopping by in a little while from Lucky Dog Knife Company to talk about his new knives. I traded my Finch collection to Andrew, and I traded him for one of his Canada-made leftover Lucky Dog Knife Company knives, the Guard Dog, which I'll show you in a second, and this knife that just came out that's USA made, along with about 4 other designs that he's got. This is the Bear Dog. I'll let him talk about it, but these are USA made, not Canadian made. He's still working with David Mary Customs. He's just, trying to find a USA manufacturer. The other one I traded for, I have like 7 finches. Yeah. This little guy, which is my Carta and AEBL, a little gentle hawkbill. This is the Guard Dog. All of these are designed kind of after traditional knives, but they're pocket size and they're set up to be carried in your pocket. So whether it was one of David Mary's bills that has a deep concealment carry clip built into it, or one of the ones that's coming from, I forget the guy's name. We'll go to the website here in a second, but they come in these little leather sheaths. Really cool little knives. I'll let Andrew kind of talk about those. But it's good to see everybody here. I wanted to start early. I'm not sure. I think Said Faction might be going live a little early tonight. And I know there are a couple of other people live. So, hey, man, what is up? Hey, man. Hey, man was at Blade Show. And I got to rally with him for the better part of 3 days. And I'm still getting over that. I'll be honest with you. It takes me quite a while to get over a Blade Show from walking and talking for 3 days and running around. It's just, it'll wear you out. And I don't drink or anything. It's just absolute bliss and fun. And it's crazy. Too much to talk about, but I'll gladly go every year I get an opportunity. And I urge anybody that's close to any of the Blade shows to, if you get a chance, go out and check it out. It's a good way to not only see a lot of different knives and handle them, but see a lot of great people. Good to see you. Hey, man. Mikey Bobby's in the house. What is up, Mikey Bobby? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my man. I hope everybody's had a good week. I've had a good week. I've gotten through it. I got back Monday, so it's kind of been a weird week. I've got to cut grass tomorrow, which is not a big deal, but it is going to be hot, and it's probably going to rain. Henry, what is up, brother? What is up? What is up? And Puck, the gray cat, has not been around, so Puck might have moved on. Tippy's still kicking it like a ninja. My mom was here taking care of Tippy and was going to take care of Puck, but I'm sure Puck didn't know her, and he comes by a couple of times, but he's disappeared before, so he might show back up. If not, that is just he was a visitor anyway. So my spiritual Sherpa is in the house. Yo, Isabella, channel member. Good to see you, dude. I hope you're having a good week, brother. Yeah, there was there were some crazy. I don't know if y'all saw the streams that that Ray, Everyday City Carry, and then Jared did after Blade Show. I don't know if that was Saturday night. It was pretty wild. We watched it from the hotel room. I thought it was very, very entertaining. I think they shotgunned White Claw at some point during that stream. But yeah, it was a blast. I love it. I love going there. It is always a lot of work, and I thank Ryan Ellis for making my trip even possible. My brother Paul Mills is in the house. What's up, brother? Channel member. Good to see you, dude. We'll be back on schedule this Sunday for the channel member live stream, the secret word game. So y'all stop by for that. Kathleen Smith, what is up, young lady? Good to see you, girl. Like I say, I think Andrew's going to stop by probably close to 9. I wanted to give people time to kind of gather because I usually don't start till 8:15. But like I said, I wanted to come on early because I'll stay as long as you guys want to hang. But I'm not sure if Said Faction's going live a little early. But while we wait, I think I said hey to everybody. I'm going to give you a preview of some of these knives that you'll get to see tonight in person. So this is Lucky Dog's website. And if we click on this trail dog in black micarta, we'll find out that they're handmade by ERC Knives and Cooper Creek Knives in Iowa, USA. We'll let Andrew kind of tell us how that partnership works out. But this is a really cool. All of his knives are kind of inspired by traditional slip joints, and this takes its cue from the classic Texas toothpick, right? But it is 6.9 inches long, so it's a little bit longer than, not a lot longer, a little bit longer than his earlier knives. 3.5 or 3.4 inch blade, where most of them are 3-inch blades. But you'll see here when we look through these, this is a new design, the Fin Dog, the Guard Dog. I think these are David Mary Customs. Let's see. Yep. So these are made by David Mary Customs, still in Canada. He's gotten another stock of these, it looks like. But then when you get down here, we've got, ooh, that's a Guard Dog with Grip X. I love Grip X. That's that kind of tacky. Shane got some of that. Edgy American got some of that in Blade Show to work with, but it's really got a neat tacky feeling on top of G10. So the Bulldog is one that I've got. It's 4 3/4 inches, but he's done a Bulldog, bigger Bulldog. Hold on. Did I miss some? I don't see the Bear Dog. I don't see this guy. That's the one I've got, but it's not in custom. Look at that. That one's in Magna Cut. That one was stabilized wood with fat carbon, and it looks like glow pins. And that was made by David Mary Customs. So see, he's working with a lot of different makers, and I don't know if he just has not fully updated the site or if we'll find out. Because the Bear Dog was on here, and I may have missed it. There it is. So the Bear Dog is my newest, and I really like this guy because it's got this tall, kind of space style spear point blade. It is 6.5 inches. 6.5. So really cool knives. You guys will get to check out Andrew. He's been on before. And we'll have maybe our normal pop-ins. Hopefully Brother Coonley will be joining us. And then maybe the usual suspects will stop by, Mr. Ellis. I wanted to show you guys a couple of knives, and I feel like I need to get up because this guy's business card is Cooper, but you wouldn't be able to find his knives based on his name. So I'm going to get up here in a second and grab my Lockerbie notebook that has my business cards in it. This is his minnow. It is a little guy. I picked it up at Blade Show. You can tell it's got a thick, hardy spine, but what made me fall in love with it was Bugsy's wife, Nicole, wanted me to meet this guy. He was right next to Sharif's table, which is kind of where we hung out. Check this out. This is a slicey knife. He makes bigger knives too, but Nicole wanted me to meet him, and he was just the nicest guy. I'm going to have him on. I'm going to get his card here in just a second, because not only was it a cool knife, I wasn't planning on buying another knife because I picked up that Hinderer fixed blade when I saw it. My shit's freezing up. I don't know what's going on there. But he's a super guy. So that's what led me to buy the knife, was the guy. And it's very clean, even grinds, really sharp. I don't even know what the steel is, but I could ask him. So now that I've promised, this is the other knife I picked up at Blade Show. That is a little Hinderer Flashpoint in 20 CV. This one's in 20 CV. You can also get this knife with a full handle. This has got the little light G10 handles, not the contoured handles. But I sit on my fixed blade, so that works well for me. And then this video went live today. This was a surprise. I actually saw this knife at Blade Show. It'd never been included in my Kaiser monthly reviews, but when I got back from Blade Show, this was waiting. It's a Kaiser Hallow, Hallow. And let me tell you something. It has got this black, ultra glossy, ultra DLC coated Z-Max blade. And this thing is sharp. It's small. It's perfect for me. I love this knife. And one thing about it is it's got these little finger slats. And these magnetic inserts, right? I don't know if Kaiser is going to be offering additional inserts. It's an aluminum handle. And this is, I can't even find it on their website. I'm sure it's coming very soon. The Z, it's in 10, it was in 10V at the show. And this one's in, says on the box, Z-Max. Z-Wear, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I've got to put my old eyes to work, which means I've got to get my magnifying glass out. Yeah. Z-Wear is what I'm reading on the handle. Z-Wear DLC. So who knows? Anyways, that Taylor Hardness guy will probably test one at some point. He tested, I was looking at my Instagram feed at some point today. He tested one of the Geo knives. I don't know if y'all saw that. And it was in M390 and it was punched at 61.4. And I think he punched it 4 or 5 times. He puts the machine that he uses and how many times it was punched. So, you know, granted, he said he bought that one himself with his money. So he was just punching his own knife. But this is a really cool knife. I don't know anything about Z-Wear. I don't know anything about the different blade steels for that matter. I do know that Magnamax is incredibly edge retention champion. I've been trying to wear down the edge on this Creeley Blade Works minnow right here. It's in Magnamax. And I can't get it to quit cutting and to quit cutting paper. I've got the Magna Cut at about 205, which means nothing. 205 or 207. I'd have to go look at my notebook. Cuts that are about, I don't know, 19 inches of cardboard that I cut vertically, all the same size or the same box type that I get shipped every month. And I just cut strips. And the Magna Cut just got to where the edge isn't crisp going through paper, but the Magnamax is at the same number of cuts and it's still super slicey. So I also know that the guys at ProCut were telling Shane at Blade, not ProCut, ProTech. The guys at ProTech were telling Shane asked him about the Chavez little scapegoat that is in Magnamax. And they said, put it this way, they have to use CNCs for their grinds, and they have to do it 3 times as many passes as they do Magna Cut. So they told Shane, do not price it until you've ground it. It's just evidently an amazing steel. Little harder to finish probably, but it's sweet. Yeah, I think what they do, Angry Tom, it's not a hole per se, it's more of a divot, right? They have this machine that's calibrated quarterly by a guy that comes around that certifies it. And then they have
What's up, dude?
hey buddy, they've got a calibration block. And so what it does is it doesn't put a hole in the blade. They typically test up around where the pivot is. So it's where the knife blade, you don't see it, and it leaves a little divot. Isn't that correct, Kyle, when you HRC test one? With
Yeah.
one of those the ones, the actual tester?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. I think 125 is will probably have more edge retention than Magnamax, but I think the balance of Magnamax, it might be
Magnamax would be much tougher than 125.
Yeah. What's up,
But
Paul? Mike? Yeah, it looks like a center
Still not
punch.
like it's still not like it's crazy strong. It's just stronger than some of those other ones.
I don't know if we talked about it, Kyle, last week, but the ProTech guys were saying it's 3 times as many passes on the CNC machine to grind the Magnamax than the Magna Cut, and told Shane to be, that it would, don't price anything until you've, ground a few.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's going to be considerably more wear on abrasives. Like, for instance, if you're rough grinding, you're probably getting 2, maybe 3 rough grinds out of a belt.
Right.
You're probably going to get 1 with Magnamax. So you're looking at abrasives alone. Once you go up in grit, it's not going to be as bad because you're just refining, but you're at roughly an extra $20 to $30 in abrasives.
Yeah, so the consumables are going to be all along the way, I would think, are going to be worn out.
Yeah, so that's going to be your main thing. What's up, chat? Sorry, I didn't greet everyone individually, but hello. I'm working on something, but
and time too, right? I mean, you think about it. You're gonna, with those belts wearing faster, I would think it would take somebody like Shane longer to get a Thug finished out of Magnamax than out of Magna Cut, right?
Not necessarily. You got to think it may a little bit, but the main difference is the how long the belt's lasting. So if it takes typically 30 minutes to wear that belt complete out if you're rough grinding, that's going to be 30 minutes regardless if that's on 3 knives or it's on 1 knife.
True. The only time lost would be how long it takes to change that belt.
I'm talking if you're measuring a base off of time of belt. If you're measuring a base off of time of knife, then yeah, it's going to change. But that's equivalent to the same as far as how many knives you're getting out of that belt. If that makes any sense.
It does. It does. Yeah, I would think it'll just be interesting to see. Gary had some kitchen knives there that were made out of it and some out of Magna Cut. I think Magna Cut, I had a guy asking today, one of the few guys that's asked at the knife store about knife steels, but he was a knife collector and he just buys what he considers bougie. I guess he's in the early stage of collecting and he drives a real nice car. It's kind of, I don't know if he's just kind of different looking, kind of doesn't look like your typical knife guy, looks like a little bit of a wild guy, kind of portly, but he bought a bug out vapor today. He was looking at out the fronts for Microtech, and he was looking at Protex, and he was asking about.
Suckered him into that.
We didn't sucker him into anything. I actually let him check out, and I always do that because to me, I don't get paid a commission. I don't get paid anything for no matter what I sell. I just want people to be able to check stuff out and experience it. And he was a Benchmade guy. He'd never purchased a Microtech, never purchased a ProTech. But when we got down to the ProTech table, he was curious about blade steels. And we have that first production Magna Max and the Magna Cut. And he said, yeah, I thought Magna Cut was the best knife steel because he'd bought a Benchmade 9400, which is an automatic 940 that came out in rust, and it's Magna Cut. And I said, well, you know, Magna Cut was the current, probably most balanced knife steel, depending on what your use is. There's some that perform better in each area, but Magna Max has just become available by the same guy that developed Magna Cut. It gets confusing when you talk to somebody who doesn't know anything about it, you know. Luckily, the knife design, which I said this is the most important thing, what are you going to be using it for, right? You know, what are you going to be cutting? And he's like me, he cuts very little. He's more of he likes action. He likes to play with his knives. He didn't have as much fun playing with the autos, and he didn't gel with I was surprised he didn't gel with the manual ProTech button locks. He just really likes that Benchmade. He's still in the stage of, I don't know if you'd call it dexterity, but where he uses the axis lock to open and close it. He likes the fact that he can just flip it out. So he's not a thumb stud user yet, or the flipper tab is.
Is that your way of saying he likes to use his wrist a lot, John?
No, it makes me, he said, like, one of the comments he made today is he's heard good things about Spyderco too, because we carry them. And I said, well, they're all great knives, you know, made in the US, but they're purpose built knives, right? You know, you could say that I can clearly say, even though I don't like or support Microtech's business dealings or the way that I don't like the guy, I can say it's a better OTF than a Benchmade. I can't say it's better than a Live Wire by Kershaw. I don't think so. But I can say it's better than a Shootout, in my opinion. And it's better than Benchmade makes one in G10 and aluminum. I forget the name of it. It's pretty heavy duty, but the button's so freaking tight. It's hard for me to retract it. There's Ryan Ellis. What's up, buddy?
So
can you hear us?
Yeah.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. Just got to the hotel.
Nice. Get some din.
I did. Good old McDonald's.
Did you get nuggets?
Huh?
Did you get any nuggets?
No, man. I ate a double cheeseburger tonight. I was nuggeted out.
I always get a side of nuggets, like 20. And I know y'all find that hard to believe, but you've seen me eat. I'll put down some food. What's up, brown sugar?
You are the definition, John, of a human tapeworm.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot. Again, I've got ADHD, so I don't think about it much. I don't require a lot of food to sustain my energy. But when we go out to eat together at Blade Show, I will eat. You know, I'll eat with the best of them. I porked it out on Sunday. We pizzaed out. We Cheesecake Factory. And I don't think I left much food anywhere.
I was going to ask you about something, John. I'm trying to remember what the hell I was going to tell you about. Oh, we were talking about the ProTech Chavez collabing
The scapegoat.
Magna Max. Yeah, that was not the ideal setup for that. I would personally, I'd wait a little bit before buying something in that, because that was all out of the prototype first run from Airsteel. That wasn't and they didn't give them the exact recipe. So that was
You're
just
exactly right.
dialed in recently. So I would wait another few months before I would get anything production from that.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I started following. Hold on a second.
I see how it is, Paul. Don't call me boo.
Dad one.
They calling me.
I know.
I'm his boo boo now, Kyle.
That's fine. You can be his boo boo.
But you're exactly right. It even says on the blade first, it's prototype Magnamax is what they call it on the blade. So I think it's the first production company that's
No,
used.
they released a batch to several companies. To do Guardian Tactical got some, Protect got some, and someone else. I'm trying to remember who else it was, but there was a few people that got pre-production release of it, and then now it's public, so everyone can order it
and buy it, right? And hold on a second, I want to mute this.
No, take care of the call.
Yep. You know, I carried this today, and this is the first knife I've had this Grip-Tex or Grip-X
Yeah.
stuff. Dude, I love this stuff.
Does it feel cheap and rubbery?
No, I don't think so. I
That's
think it
good.
feels. I think it's got a rubber feel to it, but it's like as hard as G10. It's the only way I know how to describe it. But it's
So like spongy almost.
It feels like it should be spongy, but it's not.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like when you're looking at it and you feel of it, you think you're going to squeeze it and you're going to have some play in it, but you're not. But it's just as hard as G10.
Okay.
Motherfucker's wanting ice cream, and he don't remember that we had this conversation 10 fucking minutes ago. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to interrupt you
Your
guys.
dad a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's the source of my
technically,
childhood
yes,
trauma,
fuck your
dude.
mother,
And for
bro.
the last 8 years, I've been his primary caregiver, which has been the universe's way of bringing us somehow back together because he's gotten real docile in his dementia. I'm surprised he's still alive.
John,
But
just get him some ice cream. Quit being a dick.
no, he wants to go tonight, and like I said,
Well, then take him.
well, he's got blood sugar issues, dude, and I can't give him as much ice cream as he'd like to have. It's kind of like a child, right? If it was up to him, he would have a freezer full of fucking ice cream and he could afford it. So I've got to make sure he doesn't have a car, and he gets ice cream as much as he needs. But watch, he'll call back again. I guarantee
We need to teach him about DoorDash.
he doesn't. Dude, that he is clueless.
We're gonna set up accessibility on his phone. He can just say, Siri, DoorDash ice cream.
If I could make that happen, that would be awesome. If I could get DoorDash to go, I've taken every firearm is out of his house except for a lock safe that we have the only keys for in Birmingham. That's full of firearms. But if somebody came to the door with ice cream, he would gladly accept it. It wouldn't matter who it was. If somebody showed up there with ice cream, he would be the most thankful 90-year-old motherfucker you've ever seen. But a motherfucker he is. And he will call back within 20 minutes going, hey, John, will you run me down to get some, he goes, and it's just, I don't want to go there. But anyway,
pralines and cream, he'll be happy.
What he eats are Nutty Buddies right now. If I took him ice cream sandwiches, if I took him to ice cream sandwiches, which was his thing for 4 months solid, he won't eat those anymore. He turned off on them. It's bizarre. One of his helpers, because he's got morning help that comes and stays with him for 4 hours and takes him, runs him around, gets some haircuts, does shit that I won't do.
Thank you, Kathleen. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I know. I do. I do all the time. And I could order ice cream for him. But again, he doesn't need to have ice cream because he does go to the doctor because he's got a VIP doctor who bullies me and my brother to put him in a home. We have to see him quarterly because that's the schedule. And this guy always calls us and makes us, I'm the one that gets yelled at if his blood sugar goes up and he takes.
It doesn't matter, John.
I know.
I mean, I agree. He's old. He can let him enjoy his life, and whatever happens, happens. Like,
I agree.
Do you want him to have perfect A1C and live an extra 3 days, but not remembered or have fun while he's living?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100. However, he was an asshole to me for at least 40 years. I'm trying to think when.
He still brought you into this world.
No, he was a sperm donor, and he did take care of me as a kid. I'm not going to take that away from him. But the ice cream thing, I feel no guilt for not door dashing him ice cream because I've got his pill caddy over here that I've got to fill tonight. That'll take me an hour.
Send me his address. I'll DoorDash him some ice cream right
I was
now.
about to say, give me his address.
No, you don't understand.
Listen here, motherfucker.
He's nuts. I'm telling you, he doesn't need. He'll
You're
eat
nuts.
all of them. No, I'm not,
putting
dude.
nuts in his ice
I deal with him daily. Believe me, on the daily, I see him every day. He is fine without ice cream. I know. Kathleen, you're not going to make me feel bad.
Kathleen, keep on him. Make him feel bad.
And Joe Isabella, you're exactly right. This doctor, I'm not going to say his last name, Dr. M, we'll call him, has been my dad's doctor and his brother and two sisters' doctor and was my grandmother's doctor. And he makes an absolute killing. And now he's even gone corporate where he is not his individual company. He's under a bigger clinic.
Ice cream now.
Let me see if he'll take it if a stranger brings it to him. Hold on.
No, Richard, I say hey to you. My bad if I haven't said hey to you, buddy. I'm sorry.
What's up, everyone? Sorry, I was working on stuff. I didn't get the chance to say hello individually, but hi, guys. You want to see a big old chonker, Ryan? Look at this bad boy.
Jesus.
Well, no, look how thick this is.
Good God. That's almost like novelty type.
Yeah, look at the blade stock. Here, this will give you an idea. That's next to a XN24.
That thing is a monster.
Oh, look at the thickness, though. Yeah, it's a DSK. All his stuff's overbuilt.
It's a monster.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's in for work.
Sorry if I answer some text messages for tomorrow.
Oh, you're good. Yes. The chameleon eye. John did. Oh, he's still on the phone. Never mind.
Did he call his dad?
I don't know. He put his camera down, so I thought he was.
We worked it out.
You order some ice cream for him?
No, he's already up in his bed. He's calling me from his bed.
So?
In his bedroom. So he's not. I'm gonna take him the cones when I take him his meds tomorrow, and we're just gonna have a party while he eats ice cream and takes his 9 pills that we have to then write on a sheet because dude, you have no idea. If that's the reason I feel like my brain's the way it is, atypical, that's going to be my destiny. That's why I hate the fact
you're halfway there.
I do have. It's hard for me to remember names. I'm really bad with names, but I've always been bad with names. But it's because I haven't had focus. So I don't know if it's just the way, if you live to be in your 80s, I think he started this when he was like 81, 82. You know, he probably really had symptoms before that, but he was smart enough to cover them up where nobody could tell. I think I've told the story, and I won't bore the chat because there's cool stuff to talk about, but it was his stockbroker that reached out to us and said, I can't trade for your dad. You know, I'm going to have to secure his funds because he keeps trying to cash his pension from his law firm he was at down at my brokerage office instead of the bank. So my brother and I went to have a kind of quasi intervention talk with my dad, and you would not know that anything was wrong with him because he could sit there and play it like there was nothing wrong, nothing going on, except we finally realized when he quit taking his medicine, unbeknownst to us, and ended up in the hospital with heart failure back in 9 years ago, that he hadn't been taking his meds for like almost a month. He just let them pile up, and he had all these, it was just a mess we found when we went up there. And that's when we were able to put him in a retirement assisted living for memory care facility. That's what the hospital would release him to. They wouldn't even release him home unless we had a full-time nurse. Long story, the firearms weren't secured, and my dad has a 4,000 square foot house with no bedrooms on the ground level. So you can't get a live-in nurse unless there's a master suite on the main level. He shouldn't be on the second floor, but he is, because he can still move around.
What's up?
John, look at the bottom right, the private chat for a second.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I could absolutely.
Okay, I got it then.
Absolutely. And then we're going to have Andrew jump in at about 9 and talk about what he's doing. I think y'all have met him before. Andrew, I won't say his last name. I'll let him dox himself. I think it's on his website. But you know who he is, Kyle and Ryan, the Lucky Dog Knife guy?
Yeah, I've talked to him before.
And, yeah, these latest ones are, there's a USA maker that's making these knives. Just these old traditional pocket droppers that are just, I love them. They're really slicey, and they do look very reminiscent of older knives. But I traded him a couple for my Finch collection. What's 1931 Leatherworks? Dude, I'm still tripped out by how good your sheaths are looking. We need to talk.
Speaking of which, Terry, I didn't get a chance to ask you earlier. What, how the fixed blades go over for Brian? Did he sell out? Was he happy? I asked these bozos to go by the booth, but they didn't do it for me.
Dude, I totally spaced that. And Brian had a table in the banger room, which was a small room.
I went by TS Prov on Sunday, and there was nobody there.
No, not TS Prof. TS Prof didn't have Brian Brown knives.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Terry
did the sheaths for Brian Brown knife. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, do you know Terry? Have you heard from him after the show? I wonder if I go to his website, if it would be. He would probably have anything that he didn't sell for sale on his site. What do you think?
Ryan, FYI, I did not sharpen that.
I figured.
I have no idea. I know he was happy with them. Sweet.
Because from here to here, there's no edge. However, from here to here, there is an edge. You just lose it from here to here.
Nice.
Dude, is that that Bowie that Shane made?
Yes.
That clip was sick.
My damn camera's backwards. I hate
it. Those scales are cool.
Yeah. These scales are badass.
He does not have any of them on his. Yeah, is it the Tactile Knife Company Osprey? Is this the knife? I'm gonna share this.
What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Scooter?
What's up, Scooter? What's up, Fed? Anyone else I missed?
Is that the knife that Terry's making sheaths for? That's the only fixie I see on his site.
Well, click on the thing with the sheaths on it and see.
But he might have done another run of sheaths. Yeah, you can choose leather or you can choose Ultron. That's the leather sheath, I guess. But I don't know if this is the right knife. Is Terry? Let me go back in the chat.
Yes, Terry. That was one of the sheaths that he made separately.
Dude, that is sick. And what I love about it is the grommets. I could just as easily put an ulti clip on that and put it on the other side on the face that we're looking at and then stick it inside my pocket. No, those aren't. I wish I'd stopped by and saw them. I had it even in my little book. I didn't go by Big Idea Design Company. I dropped the ball on them too. But I did go by there, but every time I went by there, they were so covered up with people, there was no way to walk up and look at the knives. I think there are a couple of booths in my video. I haven't watched my video yet, but that I couldn't get up close to.
That's
and
my
show it
second.
off.
That's my second favorite sheath Terry's done yet to date.
Isn't that beautiful? Have you seen Shane's? The one that he carries on his belt with one of the new multi-wire clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blue sheath is my second favorite. My favorite is the one that looks like the wood grain that he did for Scottsdales.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
This
are
one
both
he did
beautiful.
here for this one was
Yeah, that one looks good.
for
It
sure.
looks sick. And he also does, let me dig in my pocket. And I dox myself. Cool wallets. And cool slips. Terry's always in my pockets. And in my back pocket today was my fret.
Does Terry hold your pocket though?
He probably could.
That's what I was wondering. What's he doing up in that pocket?
Probably could. And I do like the straight clips on a leather sheet. I'm an ulti clip, deep concealment. Those are kind of interchangeable. I kind of like deep concealments, but they're harder to mount depending on their hole placement's not as flexible. But they're an absolute bear if they're mounted on a leather sheath, especially the ulti clips. I like the ones like just a straight clip on a leather sheath. For some reason, it works better in the back pocket for me.
Nice, Scooter.
Scooter, did you go to the Kaiser dinner this year? I can't remember if I saw you there. Was Scooter there?
Even I remember seeing him there.
Well, I don't remember.
He left the sports show, from what I understand.
I was having to keep up with Tate and Levi, and I've still got to get in touch with that guy. He hadn't sent me their dealer program. But they gave away a nice knife, and Tate has already anoded his, and his is now purple. And that, whatever, I guess you'd call that nebula carbon fiber when it's red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that's Nebula.
So it's kind of got blue scales. I've watched him anodize because he's got one of those he's got a little box that's like this high, this wide, and it's got several voltage things on it. Yeah. And he'll take baking soda and put it in, I guess, water. And I watch him dial up the colors. It's amazing how it does that. And then if he messes up, he just takes it in the back and sandblasts it.
Just like that.
That's exactly what he's got. His doesn't have the fancy colored knobs, but that's very cool. So do you do both scales at the same time? You're probably going to tell me certainly. He doesn't. Well, I don't see. He does them individually and can get the same color because he's using like a plastic drinking cup, 16-ounce drinking cup for his container, where I think he needs if he had a wider diameter, I don't know if I don't know how that works. But if it seems like it'd be better to do both scales at the same time to get them to match. But you say no?
No, the voltage is still the same. If you don't bump it, change it's still the same.
So if you put it on X number and the timing doesn't matter because once it gets to that color, it stops. Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's just the intensity of the voltage there.
What's up, hey man?
Oh, hey man, what up?
Did you see that 1931? I think he's I think I know the answer to that, but I'm gonna let him answer it.
Kathleen, did you finally get an ABW?
What a fantastic little knife. Hey man, it's Scooter chatting it up. I'm thinking Andrew will probably be joining us here in just a little bit. It was funny because I'd forgotten that he was gonna come this week, and I made the cat with the knife in the thumbnail, and that's what reminded him. And it was just ironic that I made that I put his knife in the cat's paw this week. I know nobody notices that, but I use an AI generated cat, and I cut the background out of a knife and stick it in his hand every week.
Congratulations, dear. I'm glad you finally got one.
How do you like it, Scooter? You got the automatic, didn't you? Or did you get
It looks
the
just like an automatic.
manual?
It's not, you know.
His is the manual? Wait. Let me see if I can click on that over here. I think I can. I think I can share it.
Kathleen, I was trying to get a hold of you a couple weeks ago. Just trying to find some spots, cool spots to go check out in Scottsdale area because my mom and some of her friends were taking a trip out there, but they already went. So
Scottsdale's supposed to be beautiful, right?
it is.
I mean,
I've
it's
been
like
there.
dry. I've never been there.
Yeah, it's cool.
The furthest I've existed west was Boulder, Colorado. I did 3.5 years there, but that's totally different ecology than Scottsdale, where Scottsdale's high desert, right? Or is it just desert?
It's desert, but there are some mountains that you can go up to, some peaks. Hang on, I'll be right back.
This way. So, Ron, what have you been up to, buddy?
Nothing.
This your first foray out?
Office, and then I traveled today, so I'll be here until Monday.
How are you recovering from the walking at Blade Show and all the chatting in the?
I was
dopamine
good.
dump?
It's just it's hard getting back to work after that, though.
Yeah.
Getting motivated. I just want to go back.
Man, it this year seemed to come quickly over last year, so it didn't seem to take as long. But for me, it's such a great 3 days. It really is. Even if I never went in the 2 halls, I think I would still enjoy it. If I just hung out in the main hall and around the pit, I think I'd be just fine. The knives are great. Don't get me wrong, but Ryan will attest to it. The only thing I really did this year was make a video of several booths. And after that, I looked at a few knives, but I missed a lot of knives because I was spending more time just kind of hanging out around Sharif's booth or out in the hall. It's hilarious because when you come up the escalator, the carpet padding is really thick and the carpet feels really it feels great under your feet. And then you walk in the halls, halfway down the hall, it's just like carpet on cement, it feels like the actual conference room does. So I would walk out just to get on that plush carpet, walk down to the big table and sit down there. Yeah, Ryan hit some beautiful, beautiful knives.
Yeah, this year was I don't know, it was a lot more fun this year than I had last year. Which, I mean, last year was kind of a blur anyway, but
Do you think it was because you were kind of knew what to expect, how it moved, and
I think so. I wasn't out to get just everything I laid my eyes on this year like I was last year either.
Yeah, last year you just went in ham, just buying everything.
well, he kind of went ham with a focus on certain custom stuff this year.
Yeah, but it's different as far as he wasn't like chasing. He had to get to this booth, that booth. It was like
You're exactly right.
there were a few.
Last year I tried to see everything.
Yeah,
I was working to see everything in there, in which I did, but I don't remember anything, if that makes sense.
Well,
I laid eyes on my eyes scanned across every knife on every table.
which is sensory overload to start with.
But I don't remember a single
To
thing.
even remember that many knives. And this year, I will say, every time you were easier to find than Shane. You stayed back there with Sharif a good bit, and helped him in his booth.
I hung out there most of the time. Which, I mean, like Kyle said, I was there. Like, I knew exactly what I wanted this year. So.
I hate that we didn't make it out to see you guys, Scooter. I know y'all were a little further out this year.
Yeah, Stevie said they were an hour out. I was like, dang.
When we went my first year, we stayed out in LJ, Georgia, which my buddy A to Z EDC, who's my local Huntsville buddy. He hasn't gone. His band, the Beastie Boys, has played in Cummings, Georgia, the last 2 years. The same festival that's the first weekend in June.
You said y'all were in LJ?
He has a place in LJ that's awesome, gorgeous, down on this creek. And do you know where LJ is?
That's where I'm at right now.
Are you in LJ?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is it like, are you in the mountains?
Yep. Yeah.
That's a beautiful place, man.
I've been coming here since 2017.
Dude, he's got they've got that place as a vacation, a rental.
Yeah.
When
and there's a lot of cabins and stuff.
There's a foosball table in the basement. The first year, Cole, Tri-State, me, A to Z, there was somebody else that stayed there. Can't remember who it was. It was Cole and Kara. Maybe it was just us, because it was 45 minutes away from the Galleria, which was too far. But it's a beautiful cabin, and it looks like really a house, but we got a loft with a bedroom, a main level, and then a basement with 2 bunk beds. And I stay in a hammock out by the creek, because there's this creek that runs through the property that's probably 20 yards wide, and you could walk across it, but it just sounds majestic. And
I bet that's the creek that's right down from the hotel here.
It probably is, dude. There's one main way you weave in the road that you come in, and it's like over when you're coming in, it's on the left. His house sits right on the left on the creek, and it's a gated community. You have to go through a gate to get in there, but they're not which houses that you would think would be behind a gated community, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But they're nice. I mean, they're nice and small and older. But if you have to be stuck somewhere, that's a beautiful place to be working.
Oh, it is. LJ, Blue Ridge.
Yeah, the Blue Ridge Parkway, and you got black bears kicking it around. You'll probably could get funky with the bear.
Yeah.
You could probably track some bear if you don't shave for a while.
No, yeah, it's a cool place. I didn't know you'd ever been up here.
That's where I've actually been 3 times. The first time for Blade Show, and then we've gone up there with some Auburn buddies. And again, there's always a bedroom. I could always stay in those bunk beds downstairs, but I string a hammock up because I have a jungle nest, an Inu jungle nest that has a hammock that has a mosquito net all built in. So once I get up in there, no bugs can get to me. And I just enjoy it. It's just a beautiful place. And we drove around. There's a place up there that's like an apple place that sells a shitload of apples. What's up, Bo?
It's like the apple capital of the world here.
Yeah. And there's this place that they went to get apple cider. We went, there rocking chairs all around it, and you can get, apples as far as you can see. We walked through there.
I don't know of one single apple orchard here, but they have that big apple festival here every year.
I've never seen an apple orchard there either.
I don't think there is one. I think they just bring them all. They bring them in. They have that big apple festival.
But you would think that they'd have to have some. Maybe it is a historic thing that they always brought in apples, but that I call it like a big farmer's market. And they got a section that they have like apple wines and stuff, like this little state store. Because we stood over there, they were getting some stuff, and then there's some peppers. Like if I'm not mistaken, they had a bunch of different hot peppers that you could get that were canned or jars, pickled peppers. But yeah, it was I wish we'd got to come out and just hang around, because Blade Show it's hard to have a conversation there because it's loud, unless you're out in the hall. But then at night at restaurants, we could have a conversation, but you're usually at a long table. Like at lunch, we were at a long table. I didn't get to talk to Stevie at one end, or really Shane. You kind of talked to 4 people around you, but there were 4 good people anywhere you went. So that worked out. Brother Bugsy was there, and his wife, and Steve. This was lunch. Just good people all weekend that we ran around with. It was definitely a trip.
It was a lot of fun.
And some really cool knives. I mean, you can't say anything bad about the knives. And the last day of the show, they're deals to be had by all. The thing that was hot this year that a lot of people bought were these swords. They had these swords, samurai swords and traditional swords.
I did see a lot of swords this year.
Yeah. And at the end of the show, those vendors don't even really want to take that stuff back. So these, I'm not a sword guy. I had no use for it, but they were 50% off. I know Shane got one. I know Tate, the guy I work with, got a couple for the store. I think you could get a samurai sword that looked, in my mind, like a pretty decent sword for about $80. I think the whole weekend they were like 180, something like that. So they were off.
Shane got a sword for $35.
Shane's was a $35 sword. The samurai swords that Tate got were like $80. They're in the store now.
Paul, what are you talking about, bud?
Your Shane knife is perfection. Talking about that.
Oh yeah. Is it the
Flip point?
No.
Wolf?
No,
Or the
I was
Joe Wolf?
talking about that one. If you need something, let us know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I was asking. You said it. That's what I'm saying. If you need something, let us know.
I had a guy come in yesterday who comes in evidently quite a bit. He's older than me, had on a cowboy hat, both ears pierced, had these black boots that had this little triangle or little diamond of snakeskin, white snakeskin or lizard skin, and raggedy jeans. Looked like a Billy Bob Thornton kind of cat. Now I found out that he made his money in strip clubs over the years, but he's a nice sword guy, big Civil War memorabilia guy, and we got in a Civil War sword that he came up to look at. But he was had two canes, and he was talking about, and I thought he was bringing it in to show us as it was a cane sword, but he says the reason canes are built the way they are is they're the ultimate weapon. And he was showing John, and John was using Levi as like a dummy of how you can hook a cane in certain places if you're holding it if you're using it as a weapon, and really fuck people up. Like if you can somehow get it around their head and turn it, you can turn somebody any way you want to just by rotating your wrist. And he had one that had like a thumb. It looked like it was a black cane, but it had a thumb rest. And that was canes are, I guess, I don't know if they call it a martial art weapon, but he used it like a martial art weapon. And
if you know how to use them, they could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, and he wasn't using it just to bash people with. He was using it to hook different parts of the body. Here we go, guys. Let me welcome Andrew from Lucky Dog Knife Company. What is up, buddy?
Oh, hello. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Make you big and make us small. Hold on a second. Can you still hear us, Andrew?
Yeah.
Kyle, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Gotcha. I'm on mute because I'm finishing this up, but yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. I was showing off the bear dog earlier.
Oh, should I turn my camera around?
That's if you want to. You don't have to.
Okay.
By any means.
See if I can do that here.
I just wanted to make you big because with the four of us in here, it'll be easier for the audience to see your knives. And I want to kind of hear about how you got hooked up with your new partner, and let you kind of talk about it.
Let's see here.
It's probably gonna let me see if I can go.
Oh, should I do that way?
No, I don't think it's gonna matter, because I think it's the way that the camera's oriented. You would almost have to you'd almost have to pop out, hold your camera landscape, because I have to do this on mine. You'd have to hold it do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
That's what I use. So I have to like rotate it till it flips my camera to landscape and then stick it in my tripod. And then when I come in, I have to make sure when I come into the live that it's orientated, but that's fine. I don't think you need to necessarily change it, because the iPhone always corrects itself.
Let's see here.
But I don't think it's because I think if you I think the only way for you to get a good landscape would be to pop out.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
No, but like you're in a tripod, right?
Yeah, it's on a little tripod.
You want to take it out when you come into StreamYard. What I do is I flip my phone horizontal and look at it that way. So I'm looking at the what do you call it, the preview.
Yeah.
And then when I put it in my tripod, I have to make sure I don't rotate it back to portrait. It's just kind of one of those little finessing tricks I learned, and I learned it the hard way. So it doesn't bother me. But if you want to pop out, you can pop out and pop back in.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that real quick here.
All right, brother.
Okay, just hold on.
I'm getting an echo too, or I was. Matt Maurer, how are you, brother? Brown Sugar, what's up? Say hey to some people who I missed coming in when I was talking to Andrew. Yeah, you'll have to hit the little leave studio button at the bottom, and then you'll have to come back into the studio. It'll take you out to the lobby. See if I can flip you. Are you still there, buddy? For some reason, it leaves a ghost image of, and I can't adjust anything on my side. Can you still hear me, Kyle?
Yeah.
Kyle's muted, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Here for the ice cream. Hey, we're going to have ice cream tomorrow. Dad's stoked. And he hadn't called back. Yay. If he was in bed, that would have been too much anyway.
Got people wanting ice cream now.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of good stuff to munch on after the live. It looked like can y'all see when Stevie's going live? Because it said on mine they were going live at 10:15 tonight. That's why I jumped in early. Not that I'm going to quit early, but people might want to jump over there. I texted Andrew and told him to come back. I hope I was clear on showing him how to do that, because I used to. There we go. Boom. There you go. Uh-oh. There he is. Can you hear us, Andrew?
Yeah, yep, I can hear you now.
Sweet. You can hold them up for close-ups as you talk about them, but I'll let you kind of talk about, what you've done, who you're working with, because I think that's kind of interesting. But the bear dog's been awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, so I guess last year I just did a local gun show, like last November, and I was supposed to get a large batch in from Canada, from David Mary Custom, but it was like stuck in customs for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, I think it was. So I only had like 3 knives there to actually try to sell. So while I was there, I met a guy. His nickname is Bear, but he at ERC Knives, and then we just started talking, and then I asked him if he could make some knives for me. So then we agreed on some handle materials, all that kind of stuff. So we were able to make it more local in Iowa, where I'm located as well. So that worked out pretty good.
They're fantastic. I mean, both batches that because I've got knives from both makers, and David does a fantastic job. But I think Bear does an amazing job too. I mean, the knife's beautiful.
Yeah, I really liked how he did here. I'll hold some up here, I guess. But
that's the bigger bulldog, right?
Yeah. I call it the Bulldog Bruiser because it's a little bit bigger, but it's still only like just under 3-inch blade on it, so it's still manageable size. But
the ultimate ram's foot utility knife, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great at that. And then on all these new ones too, I did make the handles a little longer because I think that's kind of some feedback I got from some people that
sure.
They like this little one here compared to the little Bulldog here.
The little Bulldog's 4 3/4 overall, and I think the Bruiser's like 6.5, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep. some people thought just they liked this design, but they just it was kind of small for their, which is obviously intended to be small, but they just wanted like 4 full fingers on it.
Sure.
So this one fits that bill, but it's still small and compact enough to put in your pocket. So with this, and also the guys at ERC Knives, they only do or they mostly do leather sheaths. So which I kind of wanted to do in the beginning anyway. I kind of like I thought the leather kind of fit better anyway with the style of knives.
I agree with you 100%. I know it's a little more costly, but I love the fact that you stuck deep concealment clip, and it's great in the pocket. I've been carrying mine in my back pocket, and it's just the leather's great.
Yeah, so it's much more. Well, yeah, it kind of fits the style more, and it's for me, it's more comfortable to carry and stuff too.
Because tell me if I'm right. Your inspiration comes from traditional slip joint type patterns that you have kind of turned into pocket dropper fixies. Is that kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of where I started, at least. Yeah, like especially like this one here, they call it the ranch dog, which
ranch dog
know about, of course. Kind of a Barlow-esque handle with a spade blade, blade for so it's kind of a the look of a kind of a slip joint, but just into a little pocket fix.
That was the first one I bought from you, the 3V run that David first did. I think that's where I came across your knives. I love that knife.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was the first one. Yep, that you.
And then you've got the River Dog above it.
Yep, I do. Yep. Yeah. So this is kind of like a canoe style with a little bit of the handle kind of goes down the front and the back here, and just kind of a broad spear point blade, but kind of.
I love it. That I found that to be, before the Bear Dog, the sliciest.
Yeah.
Bear Dog.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see they're kind of similar,
That tall flat grind just makes such I say it sounds like wind blowing through a tree, a field of trees with no leaves. You just don't hear it move through the material.
Yeah.
It's just therapeutic.
Yeah. Actually, this one too, I haven't really shown these off much, but
serrated, yeah.
David did a few serrated versions of these guard dogs here. And actually, I do have down here. I do have one, which I didn't realize was a thing, but he made one lefty serrated knife, which I didn't realize was that. So he put the serrations on the opposite side.
Right. I think that has to do with the chisel grind. I think it matters which way you cut. So I guess serrations, it makes sense, since they're only sharpened one way, that they cut better one than the other. I think if you're cutting something like rope, either hand will work, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know how you'd grind that though. I know he does it with a little file, but that looks impressive. I saw that on the site, and show the one with Grip Tech, with the Grip Tech handle.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. That's the material that I really like.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about the Grip Tech earlier, but yeah,
I went to their booth and met those guys, and the guy at Edgy American Blades picked up a little piece to work with, to make a couple of scales with. I think they finished that to like 600 grit to get that spongy stuff to kind of pop. Is that right? Is that it?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
the actual grit on that, but
it comes really smooth, like a sheet of stuff. And the guys at the Grip Tech booth were telling us that if you sand it, some people sand it at a higher grit, but it takes away the tackiness that people like about Grip Tech. So I think you roughly sand or finish those handles at about 600 grit to get it to feel like that, is what I mean.
Yeah, it's. I think you sent me one to check out like last year. I think it was the Grip Tech.
Yeah, that was the Carry Development. That's where I first had seen it last year. I first bumped into it. Hey, Chuck It, what's up, brother? Kyle is here. Kyle is right there.
What's up, Chuckles? How you doing, buddy?
So talk about your shapes, where your inspiration for your new one came out, because you got some really cool shapes there. You got the clip point, and you got the little kind of looks like a scalpel.
Oh yeah. I'll start with this one. I call this with the trail dog, but it's just kind of a actually I guess kind of like a Texas toothpick kind of style is where I kind of got the idea for this one. So it's just a kind of a classic clip point, but with just kind of a slender, kind of skinny handle on that one. But
I think that's very sexy.
yeah, it's very it kind of flows really nice. I thought how it turned out.
And brass pin and a brass lanyard hole looks like.
Right. Yep. Yep. A little brass pin, and it has some subtle orange liners on this one too. That just give it a little something extra, I guess. But yeah,
I
just
think
like
it's
your bear dog too.
really nice, nicely done.
Yeah, it has a dark green. There's a big shadow there.
I've got the site that we're going to pull up and look at in a second.
Here we go. I think that's better. Okay. Yeah.
That's the trail dog, and then what's that little guy with the boa looking Mike Harda? That one.
This one, yeah, this one it's called the Finn dog, named after my dog Finn. But this one's kind of like a broken back sax style. So it's kind of veering off a little bit from it's like super traditional, I guess, in that regard. But so just kind of a little sax style blade. So
Very
it's kind
nice.
So this one has some cool kind of G10. It's like the tan, brown, and
okay. I thought that was
G10.
that boa micarta stuff. I didn't know that was a layered G10.
Oh no, yeah. Here's the Python micarta here in this one.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was a different version of that. That's very nice G10.
Yeah. Actually, all these new ones are the Norplex, G10 and micarta too. So I can kind of tell not that these are bad, the old ones, but these just have a nice smooth feel to them on the new ones.
Yeah, that is a splinter digger, Richard. I agree. That one looks very.
Oh yeah. So I thought this was kind of a cool thing, but
that is very cool. That was my second choice. I just love that bear dog's look. For some reason, it just spoke to me.
And I think I kind of like that one. If I had to choose one, I'd probably choose that one too.
I love the jimping that he did on that one.
Yeah, it just really kind of locks in. And this is the first one I kind of put, a little bit of a finger groove on it too. So
I just think it's for my hand, which is 3.5 inches, I think, across. If I measure it, it just feels great. It's just the perfect size little cutter. Again, I'm not cutting hardcore stuff, but I think you could do so much with that blade shape.
Yeah, I think
it itself to a lot of uses.
Yeah, and these new ones, they're a lot, or not a lot, but they're a little thinner too. Like the handle is a little thinner, which a little slimmer compared to the ones from David. So
I think they're just both. They're in their own way just wonderful little knives. I like the thinner handle. It's for one, it carries a little better, but I don't have any problem with. I like the feeling of David's is too. I mean, it's not by any means. Too thick.
Yep. No, I think on the smaller blade, especially this little bulldog, having a little bit thicker handle is nice because you can get more, something to grip. But since these new ones are a little longer, if you get an extra finger on them, most of them, then the little thinner blade, the thinner handles is kind of a nice feature, I think.
Yeah, I love, and he's stonewashed. It looks like all of these.
It's not exactly a stone. It's like a matte finish.
Okay.
He said it was with. I don't know exactly how he does it, but it's like he does it with charcoal.
It's a beautiful finish. It's very
like a blast. Yeah. I like how it's just kind of a nice, even.
That's what I meant. Like a bead. Is it called bead blast?
Well,
or is he using some special medium to blast it with?
Yeah, I think it's
charcoal blast or something.
Right. Yeah, I think it's some kind of blasted finish, but I think he said he uses charcoal for it to get that look. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So some sort of media blasted, I guess. But actually, because the bear, he also teaches classes too, because he's like a full-time blacksmith.
Okay.
So I might go down there sometime and learn how to actually make these knives. So I kind of get the process of that kind of stuff to kind of know more about it than just
just get in there and grind a few. I think would be great for you, you know, because it would probably open up your design language if you know, just because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
down there making them. Does he forge his AEBL or does he purchase it bar stock and then heat treat it? Do you know? It
Oh,
doesn't matter.
we got these at New Jersey Steel Baron.
I got you.
There. And then we had them water jetted out there.
I
But
got you.
he did all the heat treating in house though, all of them. So
Well, to me, that's an advantage. Because you know, makers can dial in the heat treat of their knives exactly where they want to, where a lot of times if you're doing that out of house, you can't necessarily, well, you can. Um, I know Gary calls out his protocol, but I think there are advantages to heat treating in the house.
yeah, because
Good to see you, Bugsy.
yeah, I think because he tests them all, or not test all of them, but he tests every few with his Rockwell hardness tester, and they're all like 62 HRC on this AEBL, so it's kind of
That's
exactly where you
very
want to get.
respectable.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump us over to the website real quick if you want to show these guys off. Or this drop was all AEBL, correct?
Right. Yeah. This one is. Yeah. And yeah, I will have some more from David Mary Custom too coming later this year, but this is just the in AEBL. So because if you do like some people like Kydex sheets better anyway. So we'll have
Right,
kind of
right.
a mixture of both coming.
And David uses that Boltron,
Right.
which is
Yes.
that material that's actually a little bit tougher and more. Steve Kalari Customs was talking to me about that at lunch on Sunday. He's a maker and was talking about the differences in those two. But I think it's so cool that you choose sourcing small batches from custom makers over having your design, sent to Asia and have, 100 if you wanted them. I like the fact that you're locally sourcing the knives. I think it's really cool, and I think it adds, in my opinion, a lot of value to them. So if you guys go, then I'm going to drop this link in the chat so y'all can go there too. Boom, boom. But those are the Bear Dogs. 235. That comes with a leather sheath, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah. All those do. Yep.
And they're handmade by ERC. And Copper Creek is Copper Creek the sheath maker, or is that?
Actually, ERC Knives is the guy I was dealing with, and then his friend owns Copper Creek Knives, and he actually does he did the handles on all of them.
I got you.
So he can do both, but they just to knock them out.
They
quickly.
partnered it, yeah.
Yeah, they just split the the project in half, and Bear at ERC Knives said that his friend does better at handles, and he's better at grinding. So they just did
I respect that. Yeah.
both good at. Yeah.
Edgy American Blades and Kyle, who's sharpening up there, that's why he's muted. We'll probably agree that that's a good partnership to have. I know Shane, Edgy American Blades, was working with the guy on handles for a while. It just got to be logistically challenging. But I think the prices are great. The Trail Dog is the one we're looking at now, which is that kind of clip point. Again, inspired from the Texas toothpick.
Oh, yep.
Here, let me get the dimensions up there. I'm trying to see. When I'm sharing the screen, I can't see how it's broadcasting, but it looks like you got 10% off. All you have to do is click right here to claim a 10% off coupon.
Or yes.
And then we'll go back here. It looked like you had a bunch of David's knives in stock too. So this is the Fin Dog.
Yep.
I like that. The Broken Back CX inspired. And it is 6.9 inches. So would you say it's the longest of the ones from ERC?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It's barely. I think the
it's still just a great size. 3.5-inch handle, 3.4-inch blade. And then we get down to these, starting with the guard dog, that are 205 and 190, are made by David Mary Custom. And you can choose between the serrated.
Yeah, there's a few. Not all of them have serrated.
No, there's some.
There's a couple there.
Do you? Are they all AEBL, or do you have some 15?
Actually, right now, all I have is 15 and 20.
Okay, 15 and 20 in David's knives.
Right. Yep.
But it looks like you've got a few guard dogs in stock.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. There's quite a few different handles they have. I have more than what I have here showing you right now. But
guys, this is a really cool knife. It's got a little finger dip in the tip, and it's a very gentle hawk bill. That's the Boltron sheath that it comes with, and got a nice thumb release and a deep concealment carry clip, and it's 6 inches overall. And that hawk bill is very gentle, but it's very effective.
I think that's what I've got. That's the one I got the strip wire with.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. I enjoy it.
And you got one with Grip X?
No.
Oh, I was just saying we got one here on the site with Grip X.
Oh, I was just saying him. I thought you said I had one with Grip X.
Yours has got a wood handle, right?
Yeah. I think
I didn't know you had one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah, I bought one of those like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
And we got the Ranch Dog, which is that spade blade. I really like this knife too. I just like all your designs. I just think they're cool. They're great pocket droppers, which is I'm just weird that way. The first 2 years of being in the knife game, I never would even look at a fixed blade knife. I had no use for one. And then all of a sudden, the Jacob Creates Chickadee turned me on. Oh, you even got some River Dogs in stock.
Yeah, I think I had like 2 or so is all. But yeah, I'll be restocking some of the original ones in a couple months probably.
Cool. And guys, I dropped the website in the chat, and keep in mind there's a 10% that'll pop up when you get to the site, and then it'll stay down here in the left corner. And the Bulldogs in leopard wood and curly birch. This nice 4 3/4. One of my favorites. I love this little guy in my back pocket. I know, like you say, the bigger the bigger Bulldog's probably very comfortable, but for me, this little guy is just, I love it because of its size, because of it being so small.
Oh yeah. I kind of purposely made it like, just fit your first 3 fingers pretty good, and then you can just kind of, hang on with the lanyard at the end with your pinky. But yeah, like the thickness of the handle really works with that design, I thought.
Now,
I don't think I want this too thin.
I know these are sold out. This one that won Best in Show, this Magna Cut. When did David do these? That's gorgeous. And what is that? Stabilized wood and fat carbon?
Oh, right. Yeah. When did he send? Just maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah. Well, because he was doing a Magna Cut run of some of his knives, and he just asked if he had a little bit of room left on his sheet.
Sure.
And he asked if I wanted to do some. So then we found a spot or a space for these 4, just to do one of each in kind of a fancy version.
I think that's great. I think that's beautiful to show, because it shows what you could do. I'm sure if somebody wanted to customly recreate this, David could do that for you.
Right. Yeah.
As a custom, if they were willing to wait, which a lot of these guys, and me included, wait, 6 months sometimes for a pre-order, longer in some cases. So I just think that's beautiful. Those
I was really impressed with, because so on those 4 there with the Magna Cut ones, like that was, the handles were like the handle materials and the design of those, as far as the colors and stuff, that was all David. And as far as, he kind of just surprised me with I let him just kind of have free reign of doing something cool. So
Maker's choice kind of thing.
yeah, because I've seen a lot of his work before. He does quite a few, knives with like more compound handles and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
He does very fancy stuff in his David Mary custom world.
yeah, so I thought, you know what, I might as well let's show him off a little bit of what he can do too, because that's what
I
he
think
does.
I think that's awesome. And this is another ranch dog in Grip X. I didn't see that one was still available. Grip Tech or it's Grip X. There you go.
Yeah, I think that one's sold out, right? Does that say sold out?
I think it's showing there. Let's see.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's showing sold out. It is.
Oh, okay.
I'm down here at the sold out section.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we've got ranch dogs and other finishers. What's Sure Touch?
Left.
What's Amerigrip? Is that similar to Grip Tech?
It is actually. Yeah, I think it's like it's kind of like this layered G10, but I think it's like G10 and then like a rubber material kind of layered.
Yeah, I think they were saying at Blade Show that it gives you the same type of feel, but the way that they construct it, the way that it's made is different than the Grip X.
Right.
But
yeah, I think
it's just another version of that. So it should feel in the hand. I would think. Does it feel similar, Andrew, to the Grip?
It does. Yeah.
I mean, it's softer than my card, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like this Grip X one. It's weird how it's like it feels soft, like when you just touch it like this, but it's like hard. Yeah, it's weird.
It's a bizarre material.
Yeah,
what's weird is they also sell a blade wax that's made off of the residue of that stuff. So tell me how that works. They've got some blade wax that you would think of being, beeswax based to coat your blade, but it's made with the resin of that Grip X stuff. So it's a weird material. I don't understand all the uses of it, and I didn't pick up any of that stuff, but it's on their website. If you go to Grip X, the site.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, Lucky Dog it looks like a full spectrum of small batch custom knives, both USA made and made by David Mary Custom. All are awesome knives. I can speak for both because I've owned and have both. I've got this was my sliciest, and I've sharpened these because I use them a lot. That's the River Dog with the Boltron sheath. And then this is one of my favorites. This is the little Bulldog, and he's got the Bruiser Bulldog now. This ram's foot style blade with micarta handle with a nice groove in it.
The Guard Dog's a really good one.
Yeah,
I use it to strip a lot of wire.
That guy right there. And it's also great for pruning, like cutting stuff, fruits and vines and rope and cardboard. It just makes easy work of cardboard.
And it's kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that's kind of when I was like designing this one I was kind of thinking of like the ultimate kind of package opener type of thing. So
a great box cutter.
Yeah, just like a little groove there with your index finger and just drag it right across the box or something. But
that tip digs in too. You're exactly right. And then the Bear Dog, and this Bear Dog has, you can't see it in my blue lighting, but it's got a liner, micarta handle, and just a tall spoon looking blade that's therapeutically sliced. Let me show you how well this thing slices.
Would you call that a modified spear point? I was trying to figure out what exactly.
Yeah, I call it a modified. You could call it a modified drop point, modified spear point. I think modified spear point kind of nails it.
Yeah.
Why is my hand glowing? But this thing cuts like, I mean, you can just drag it from the sharpening choil. If I would hold the paper right. And it just is a slicer. I mean, so thin. I think the blade stock, I want to say it was under 0.2. 0.0.
Yeah, I think it's like 0.09. So what's that? Yeah.
It's just a great little slicer. And that finger choil feels great in my hand, just right under that pin. And the leather sheaths, you say he makes those in-house too? I mean, it's a simple sheath, but it's super effective. And what I've been doing is waxing it up a little bit just to keep it, because I always do that to my blades and my handles. It's already dried. I mean, and then the leather soaks the wax off of the handle, and I keep conditioning my handles, and it just makes the leather kind of richen up. But the sheaths work great, super retention, and again, the little pocket dropper clip, which is a deep concealment carry, which are great clips.
Yeah, I really like those. I found a shorter one to use on this one, or on the leather sheaths, I mean, but
yeah, and it looks great. It's right there at the sheath layer, so you can pull, if you like to just pull the knife out by grabbing it, which I don't. I use the thumb ramp, but like the older guy at the knife company that I work, Nessmuck, like a modified Nessmuck, Richard, that's true.
Yeah, this one here.
I wax on, wax off, Dr. Drew, dude. It's one of those things that I do, part of my fidgeting. When you're a fidget knife guy and you get a passion for small fixed blades, you find yourself sharpening them a lot. You find yourself stropping a hell of a lot, and you find yourself waxing a lot, just because it gives you, it puts them in my hands for more than just cutting cardboard. I process a lot of cardboard, but for the last, 3 weeks, I've been trying to make these Freely blades, Magna Cut, Magna Max, quit cutting, and the Magna Cut finally quit cutting cleanly, so I can use other knives to do that, because I process a lot of cardboard around my house here in North Alabama. So I'm gonna drop the site, because you've also got really cool merch. I wear your shirt to work all the time, and people ask questions about it, because you're a designer. That's what your passion's always been, right? Because I think you're spot on.
Yep. Yeah. My background's graphic design, so that's what I like to do. That's my full-time job. So, making brands and logos and all that kind of stuff. So I, of course, had to throw some of that in there with just some shirts and hats and things.
Well, you're building a cool brand, so I think it only makes sense to have really good merch. And your merch, I've got this shirt right here. And is that your dog? Is that Finn?
It is, yeah, yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's a Wheaton Terrier.
He's gorgeous. There's Finn on the side of that hat. I like that hat.
I'm about to order one of those.
Yeah, quality stuff, really nice stuff. It's again, I've got a spring store, which I can't speak that it's that great. The quality, the sweatshirts are really good. The shirts, it's just a crapshoot. But I think Andrew's stuff's done professionally, like a designer would do it. He probably picked out his shirts and had them done. But they're nice. They're nice. You need to check them out.
Yeah, thanks.
Dude, I think you're killing it. I hope they're selling like crazy.
Starting to pick up a little bit here and there. It's kind of weird. Some days or some weeks, I should say, I'll sell a few, and then some weeks I won't sell any. So it's kind of
it's a niche product. And like I say, I did an unboxing on the Bear Dog, but I haven't done the review yet. I'm still carrying it, and the review I can go ahead and say, spoiler alert, it's going to be glowing, but it's going to be an up close with dimensions, with cutting some more materials. It's just a great knife. And I'm sure the others, the Trail Dog, the Fin Dog, and the Bruiser? Bulldog?
Bulldog, Bruiser, yeah.
What's up, Ouchie EDC? We're here kicking it with Andrew from Lucky Dog Knife Company, who's been showing us his USA made small batch fixies and his Canadian made fixies. He's got a couple of partners that make his designs on this side of the ocean in North America, all North American made,
Yep.
which I think is very cool.
Yeah,
For a bit, I think you're right. I think a lot of people that are enthusiast knife people are focused on Blade Show, and I know I was before I went to Blade Show, I would always make my big purchases around Blade Show because I was doing it because I wasn't able to go and enjoy it. So, I think a lot of the people that go, you're right, are probably focused on those Blade Show grabs, which can be costly.
I'm sure some of the bigger companies are like releasing some new knives too, so people are probably waiting out for what's gonna come.
Andrew, have you ever thought about doing one of the Blade shows in the future? Like, how much is I don't even know how much a table is. I know some guys that do it. I could ask them.
Well, actually, that Bear at ERC Knives has done it before, and
okay,
I think he was saying it was like a couple grand per table, or
oh really?
But I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if this is like one little table or a whole booth setup or what. But
I know
he sold quite a bit.
I know they have both booths and tables. Like I don't know. Gary Creeley's not here tonight. I don't know how it breaks down. Very Good Knife Company. Jacob and his wife Rebecca go and they get a table. He makes knives and probably has, 20, 30, maybe 40 that he takes. And he says that it more than pays for his trip and the space. He comes out in the net positive and meets a lot of more enthusiasts. So I don't know, what would be probably a good indicator is if they go back, you're the guy who's making your knives because you want it to make sense for you.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say the pricing I think starts at like $600 for a table.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not terrible.
Well, that's really all you would need, I would think. To show your knives, you could have most of them behind the table if you had extras and have them out. But there are a lot of people that walk through there. I don't know how many. Granted, you're in there with thousands and thousands of other knives, but you're the type of knives that, they're unique enough. I think that you could benefit from that. Or are you close to Lehigh? How far is that from you? I know there's a knife show there.
Oh,
it's smaller. The Lehigh, I don't know what's.
That's Pennsylvania.
Okay, and you're in Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
That's pretty far away. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know Atlanta's far because travel.
Yeah.
And it was far for Jacob and Very Good Knife Company. I can't remember exactly where they are. I think the Carolinas. I could be wrong, but you'd have to figure travel in any show that you wanted to make a bigger splash at. But then again, you've also got to have the inventory to do that, right? I mean, I know a lot of makers are stressed to the hilt up into knife show, and I know who was sharpening knives this year. Ryan, do you remember? I remember because I saw it on Instagram, and I remember talking to them that they had a lot of knives to sharpen. I know who it was. It was Dustin Driver Defense. Tate brought him his sharpener from Knives and More so he could finish 2 knives that he didn't have time to sharpen before Blade Show.
Oh, yeah.
So it can be stressful. There's that too, the logistics of having to deal with it. Because your table's $600, and I think you have to pay for a chair too. They're little gotcha charges, and if you want to run a credit card machine, which you almost have to have that available, that's another charge to have power to your booth. It's just stuff like that. I remember that from being an exhibitor.
Yeah, compared to I've done those 2 gun shows now locally, but they're like $50 a table. But of course,
makes sense.
You're not selling a whole lot there, though, or you might not sell a whole lot because it's.
Well, I'm in North Alabama in a town called Huntsville. And we just had our 2nd annual knife show. Gun shows come through here all the time.
Yeah.
And it was mainly old-time case dealers and resellers. but it was also an opportunity. I would think. I know Dustin Driver, who also does Blade Show. He's a local maker. Had a table there, and I would think within 100 or 60-mile radius from you, there are probably some small knife shows that are once a year, if there are any bigger cities around.
Oh yeah, actually, there's I think it's called Badger Blade Show or Badger Knife Show or something in Wisconsin.
How far is that from you?
I think it's maybe like 3-hour drive or so, maybe. So
it's that's. I mean, that might be a place to just check out and spread your wings a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people. What I would always ask is if I was talking to a show, the exhibitor part is how many people they get through, because they're going to be knife people if they come to a knife show. You might get a few tire kickers, but those are going to be people that are drugged by somebody who has an interest in knives. So I don't know what the Rocket City. I know the first year we had it here was last year, and it was a 1-day thing. And this year it was a 2-day thing, and they allowed the vendors to move in the day before, and it did very well. And Huntsville's, I don't know how, I'm not good at population counts. You can Google it. But Blade Show's intense. I mean, I would think it'd be I know like Edgy Blade Works only, I think, had 9 knives, maybe 10. He sold out in a matter of minutes. And I know people who, still had knives when the show was over, but they'd sold a lot.
Yeah.
You're just, there's so many tables in there. But I would think you could meet a lot of people. Plus, they have classes and stuff. If you went with somebody, there are classes and things that you can do during the day to make it worth your while if you ever wanted to look into it.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys ever do the Texas one?
I want to do Texas. I've never been. I hear it's a really good show, though.
I'm wanting to go out there next year.
And then there's the one that said Stevie, who's a YouTube buddy of ours who goes live in a little while, says Blade Show West is really cool because it's in Salt Lake City. And he said that's a really nice place to visit just because the weather's so good. It's just kind of a win.
Oh, yeah.
I think Blade Show East is the biggest, and then I think Texas and Blade Show West. I would think Blade Show West is bigger, but I'm not sure of that.
Yeah. So I think the Texas one might be a little closer to me, but
I think the Texas one's a very well-attended show. I know if Jared Neves and Everyday City Carry Ray went over there, it's got to be a pretty big show for them to make the trip. I just think it'd be cool. I mean, I just think your knives stand out because they don't look like anything else really that I can even think of that's in the same ballpark.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Is trying to. That's kind of. I don't really have any like standard drop points, which is, I mean, nothing against them, of course, but they're just kind of.
You want to be more original
everywhere, Yeah, and I might do one eventually. I probably will at some point, but I was just kind of starting out with some different shapes first.
Well, and the descriptions that you write are very well done too, because your inspiration, where the blade shape comes from, the story of the knife is, I think, a value added benefit. I think the fact that you put that kind of thought into it is cool. And if you did a drop point, it would be unique in its own way.
Yeah. But yeah, that was thanks to Chat GPT for some of those descriptions. They kind of helped me.
Chat GPT helps me with titles for my videos and thumbnails recently. And it's that's where I trained part of Chat GPT's digital marketing, because our whole management team got laid off the same time because we'd been using a digital ads server system that we were doing all of our estimates for our clients, for our AE's clients and stuff with. And it just works. It's effective. It use
GPT a lot.
Yeah, it's helpful, and I've heard there are other AI platforms out there. Like if you're doing a website or want to do coding, Claude is one that Gary Creeley uses quite a bit. And then there's just, it's amazing because I use it through an app called Video IQ that is a YouTube type app, and it tells you suggest tags to put in, suggest titles. And it's built into my YouTube studio. It plugs into it. So it's powered by Chat GPT. But when I do a title, I learned this from another YouTuber. I will take my video once I post it unlisted, and I share it with this software, free website. I can do 3 transcriptions a day for free. I use the free version of all this stuff, but it's a software called, let's see, it is TurboScribe. And what I do is I drop my video into TurboScribe, and it transcribes it in about 2 minutes to written text, right? And then I copy that written text in a text file, and I drop it in Chat GPT with a little prompt that says, as a SEO, social media analyst, help me come up with the title and a 3-sentence description for this content. And it reads it and comes out and spits out some bombs. I mean, it really does.
Yeah. It's really great to just use as a tool to kind of bounce ideas off of and kind of brainstorm and stuff. That's what I use it a lot too.
Have you gone into the settings and taught it about yourself? Because that's something I've yet to do, but I need to. There's a place where you can go into the settings. Oh man, you can give it the tone of voice to use, and you basically can give it. There are a lot of really cool ways to personalize it so that it'll be more intuitive to the way that you communicate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no,
in the settings.
Know that.
Yeah, it's cool. There's some cool videos on it. I'm trying to get fluent in it because I'm convinced that I'm going to have to empower it to try to make a living at some point as a consultant or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially in graphic design world, there's definitely some things that it's kind of taking over in a way.
My daughter graduated last year before in graphic design, and she works in a high-end restaurant. It's been a hard field to break into. Just because I'm guilty of using Canva, which I guess is powered by AI. Canva's a subscription app that I do my thumbnails with, because I still do manual thumbnails too. And then YouTube Studio will suggest an A/B type of scenario where I'll do one AI thumbnail. I've only been doing that for about 3 weeks, maybe 4, and one me created thumbnail. But it's amazing what it can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I've been playing with it since it came out. I helped my mom write sorry, I can't attend some kind of high school 50th reunion thing. She had to write a email back, and she was struggling with it. And I said, let's just let Chat GPT do it. And it wrote a perfect little email.
Right.
She tweaked it a little bit, because I always go in and personalize it, because it'll put dashes. There's some things that I hear you, Richard. Yeah, Richard's a graphic designer too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff just that you could do with different, I would think, YouTube channels across the sector. Not just knife channels, but everybody has logos. Everybody has different stuff. And I would think that if you, took gave them more of a online identity, kind of online branding, there'd be a market for that too.
Yeah.
In smaller scale. Check it, I will. I'm not greedy when it comes to fondling my keyboard or my mouse. So what you got new coming, Andrew? Do you have any new designs that you're working on, or you just dropped a bunch of new designs? So that's kind of a dumb question.
No, I actually haven't. I don't have anything.
I didn't know if you kept a sketch pad or a computer file full of stuff that you were constantly creating, or.
I guess I do have some sketchbooks and things, but I don't. Not to be.
You're more.
Boring, but,
you're more purpose planned out. It sounds like.
Yeah. I guess I probably will do some more next year, or start developing some new ones. But I'm always kind of looking for different ideas and inspiration for different blade shapes and things. But
I think you're going about it right. I mean, you've got a very nice line of knives. I'm trying to think, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8
There's
designs or
eight.
9?
There's
8. Okay.
eight. Yeah.
I mean, that's for a new designer. That's awesome.
Yeah, I try to gonna do a kind of wide range of shapes and things here because I don't have any. They're all kind of the similar size, but that's kind of what I've been doing is just pocket fixed blades. So I don't know if I'll expand it out to something a little larger or not yet, but that could be.
Yeah, I mean, let your inspiration take you where it does, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've got some really cool designs. And again, I think my biggest takeaway from what you do is you didn't go about it the easy way, which would be to work with a OEM overseas and do it that way. I don't know that many designers who've taken the path that you've taken. You always hear, at least I do in the YouTube circles, well, it's too hard. It's too hard to find somebody to make a knife. And you've proven that that's not the case. You've made connections with very capable knife makers in North America and kept your work here and settled for smaller batches than big gains. I think that's commendable.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, because there's definitely I've looked into what would happen if I were to send it overseas and what kind of price that would get me and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't think that was the kind of right fit for what I was doing here right now. But
stick to what you're doing. I mean, like I say, you've got something unique. I wouldn't even think that you would even have to consider looking at the licensing route. I think if you do it your way and keep the integrity to what you're doing, that's just another selling point besides your original designs and the fact that small fixed blades, I think, are becoming much more popular. I'm starting to see a lot of them at Blade Show. They were everywhere.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of imported ones that are coming out now too, which is like that they're kind of trying to catch up to. Good, definitely. Obviously, these aren't the first pocket fixed blades, but there seems to be a lot more kind of in the production market that are coming in, for sale now too.
Yeah, and that just is, for somebody like me, is an indicator, right, that the market's demanding that, or all these makers wouldn't be scrambling to have small fixed blades. I see them every week. A small fixed blade comes out. It's born from either Concept, Kubi, Kaiser. They're just everywhere.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing because it's creating demand for something more unique. When somebody gets a little further in the hobby, it's the way I progressed and evolved in the hobby. I started out with budget knives, and now carry crazy knives.
Yeah. Actually, one of the first ones I noticed online was the Jacob Creates stuff, which you obviously know about. But I kept trying to buy one of those, but they're always sold out. I could never even get one.
The drops happen so fast.
Yeah.
That's the first knife that turned me on to fixed blades. I have 3 of them. I bought one on a drop from River's Edge Cutlery, and I had to be there right when they dropped, and 2 secondhand. So yeah, if you're still looking for one, we can talk. I've got 3. I've got a Magna Cut one that Kyle sharpened that'll be a forever knife, and then I've got an old S90V. I've got a 20 CV with blue micarta that we could talk about, maybe trading some stuff for if you're interested in it.
Okay, yeah. Because I still haven't.
He's making more because now he's having not millet. Maybe it's he's got somebody cutting out his knives, and they look great. I've got one of his first full flat grinds, and then 2 of his 3/4 grinds that he was cutting out, and now he's doing them where I think they'll make more available. Right? I think they'll be easier to get.
Because that's a USA company too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think it's even real close to him. Yeah, B Shady. I don't have an M4, but that sounds awesome. B Shady's got a lot of chickadees too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they look really cool. Just a nice.
And B Shady's got some of the Hail Marys. Have you seen that little bigger knife he makes now? With
Didn't one have like a kind of a spear pointy
he does a spear point. He does like 4 different blade shapes with that same handle, which is a little bit larger, a good bit larger than the Chickadee, but still a small fixed blade. Spear point. He's got a Warncliffe and maybe a drop point. But I think there are 4 different blade shapes on the Hail Mary.
John, I just talked to Stevie. They are going on at normal time. That was a typo.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. I didn't know. I was gonna jump over there. I didn't know if they had somebody coming on joining them or.
He did it when he was in Salt Lake City, so the time zones are different. So.
Well, you know what's weird? I wonder if the time zones, because when I set my Tuesday knife show from over in Atlanta on StreamYard, I was trying to do it Central Standard Time, and it set the time for 8:15 instead of 9:15, just like it's happened to Stevie. I think it's a StreamYard glitch because Stevie probably pulled his time, even his time zone, because I just went through that and had people show up an hour early Tuesday night because I set it from over in Atlanta, which is Eastern Time, even though I chose Central Standard Time on StreamYard. I think that's a glitch. I don't think Stevie messed up.
That just proves why Eastern should be the standard.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree. What's up, Kevin Smith and Knives, channel member?
Kevin, what's up, Sierra Rick?
Sierra Rick, what's up, buddy? Yeah, Atlanta's on Eastern Time, and that's where I set the live from, which would have been an hour later. So if I set it for 9:15, which is my time here, Central Standard Time, and Atlanta didn't change it, that's why I think it showed up as 8:15 with false start on my end, because I never checked it after I set it. But I've set so many that I've never set one at the wrong time, so I always pull down. And maybe it's that I just set it in the wrong time zone like Stevie did. Andrew, you got anything you want to share with these people? Before I just get into chatty mode, you're welcome to hang as long as you want.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, really. I think, thanks for having me on again. But
you're welcome anytime, buddy. I'm very much invested in what you do and like the knives very, very much. I think they're unique. I think they're very practical, and they're just conversation pieces. Do you ever think about dealers, or is that something that's too far out of the sights from a supply standpoint? Night, Paul.
I haven't contacted anyone yet, but I don't know. I kind of thought about it and stuff, but I don't know if I have enough
margin,
kind of stock on hand.
Well, you don't have to, like, I do work part-time in a knife store in Huntsville. It's kind of a destination store. They do a lot of case knives, and he buys a lot of vintage stuff and sells it. But the custom makers there, they might sell 2 to 8 knives to them. But for brick and mortars, they're different than online stores. You have to have margin. It kind of minimizes your profitability because the dealer has to have. For a brick and mortar, they tell me, the younger guy tells me a lot of the trade secrets, but there's got to be almost a 30% margin to validate using the square footage or square inches, really is what it breaks down to. But they look at it as feet of display space. Because I was at Blade Show with them this year and last year, the young guy who was trying to pick up new dealers or new makers, and some of the ones that he was interested in, unfortunately, just didn't have the margin, the operating margin, bigger companies than you know. So I could see how that would be. You don't necessarily need that avenue, because if you're selling out, even if it takes you a little longer, that would be better than, dropping your price by 20 to 30% to have a dealer have that, people that go to their showroom are the only additional reach you're gaining over your own website.
Yeah. That's the biggest kind of factor is, since I'm not making these myself, so I have to mark them up a little bit.
Do you know?
I'm already paying for these. So.
Do you know Nick Stassa 23 is his YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, I've seen him. Yep.
He's have you ever thought about talking to him about looking at one of your knives? Because he has a
Yeah.
lot of subs. And I saw him over in Atlanta. He's a fixed blade kind of guy too.
Yeah.
And there's also Scott at Choir Boy Cutlery, but he gets more of a big knife crowd, where Stasa, I think, gets more of an EDC kind of crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can talk
I think
offline if you ever want to talk to any of those guys. I know most of
Okay.
them.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want
Yeah. I
access
think
to more YouTubers.
I think I emailed him once when I was emailing you and a couple other people. I don't think he ever replied to me actually. But
I
he might
think
not
he's
have
probably
saw it.
inundated with
Yeah.
emails, but he's like me. He appreciates stuff that he likes, and we kind of like similar stuff. So I'll reach out to him. We'll talk offline. I think there are a couple that, because unfortunately you can't run Google ads or you can't
Right.
run
Yeah.
display ads because you're considered a prohibited category, which sucks because the good thing is it's a very small percentage I've learned since I got into the retail knife business. People that walk in, very few of them watch YouTube videos, but there are enough people that watch YouTube videos to keep somebody like you very, very busy, or somebody like Jacob at Jacob Creates very, very busy, or
Yeah.
Gary Creeley very, very busy. So, we can talk about that if you'd like me to try to help you get in touch with a few of those guys. You can kind of look at your list and see which ones you picked out, and I can reach out to them because I'm in a group chat with a lot of those guys, and individually chat with some of them too.
Yeah, I sent some to Big Red EDC, JB at Big Red EDC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, and then I did email Melissa Backwoods, which I think you know about her, right?
I know. Yeah, I had dinner with her at the Kaiser dinner in Atlanta. She's very, very humble. She's a very nice person. I think she works differently, though. I think she interfaces with the public differently than most of us do. I think she's got like a talent agent. And,
right. It was the public very expensive.
Most of us do. I think she's got like a talent agent.
Bug, you get your audio on.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, it's no problem, dude. But yeah, she's has the reach though, right? She's got over 1 million subscribers. So
yeah,
her video is going to garner a ton of views. But Stasa is legit and a good guy. I would definitely recommend him. And Scott at Choir Boy Cutlery, I introduced him to Olive Knives. They do a big bushcraft knife, and he torture tested it for them. So you can let me know your list, and like I know Jody at Big Red personally, so I could DM him, and I'm sure he would. He's a traditional knife kind of guy.
I'm already sending him some actually.
Cool.
I actually emailed him today, and he replied in like a minute.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's awesome. He goes live tomorrow night at midnight, my time, 1:00 Eastern. He's out in California, and he has a really big live stream.
Is he in Washington? I think
He's in Washington State. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys are out there. Said Stevie's out there, who's another good one. Stasa 23. Some of those guys have just gotten so busy that it's hard. And I understand from their perspective that, if you can't get to everything. But again, Stasa's the type where a couple of others that I know are more about, affiliate links and things like that, where Stasa's more about good, cool stuff.
And I watch his stuff sometimes too.
I do too. And I think he's the guy I always tell people, because I don't do cut tests a lot. I did for my Magna Cut versus Magnamax on these minnows. I'm still in the process of it, non-scientifically, of course. And I think all of the people that do cut tests are kind of unscientific, but it's the best thing. And I think Stasa does a pretty good job on cutting stuff up. He cuts more stuff up than I do by a mile.
Yeah.
Paul, that just shows anyone who's chatted or sent super chats. That's all.
What's that?
The tab for fan funding. That's all that shows.
What it's really shows is part of that, but it also, there's going to be some top fans there, and I think it's the chat. So Richard's number 1 now. I think that means he's chatted the most, with Paul Mills being number 2 and Mick Ranger being number 3. and they've got, I'm looking at 225 points for Richard, 150 for Paul, 150 for Mick, 150 for B Shady. You've got several at 150. I
That's
think
the
it should.
leaderboard. That's the leaderboard. But if you click on fan funding, all it does is show the last super chats.
Oh no, I was just looking at the top fans on the chat. I don't see any fan funding because I don't have a goal set, because you can set a goal if you're trying to get funding. It just my ticker just shows top fans, and that's by the number of chats. Yeah, Stasa was great on live. I think Chuck it, if I'm not mistaken, Stasa's only been a guest. He's gone live a couple of times, I think, from his channel. Paul Mills, dude, that's going to jump you up in the fans, and it's going to get you a man hug. Everybody stand by and hold your ears. Thank you,
I think I'm
brother.
gonna hop off here pretty soon.
All right, buddy.
That's-
I appreciate you being here when you were. Who's M? Is that my buddy Ellis? Did he go black? He's on the phone.
That's right.
Andrew, buddy, I appreciate you coming. And all
Yeah,
you
no,
got to
thanks a lot for
do
having me.
is the Brass Brigade. I need to get this guy back on. The one and the only Jason Grant, another fantastic maker from out in the Southern California area. Amazing tattoo artist too. Good to see you, brother. But yeah, Andrew, anytime you want to come on, man, and text me or DM me your list of people who hadn't gotten back to you.
Okay, yeah,
And I'll
do
follow up on that for you. I'll
Yeah,
put in
okay,
a
cool.
word of how cool they are.
that. Yeah, okay, sounds good. So,
And
okay,
keep doing what you do, buddy.
all right. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming, man.
All right, yeah,
Andrew.
see you guys later.
Later on, bud.
Later, man.
Bye.
John, I'm going
All right.
to do a quick impromptu.
Great. Now I lost audio out there.
Oh, poor
Pop
Bugsy.
out, pop back in. Go ahead, Kyle.
Bungle.
You want to get big?
No, you don't need to. I'm going to do a quick impromptu knife sale. If anyone is interested in any of these pieces, DM me and we can work out something. But they just don't get used, and they're going to go bye-bye. So,
Break
first
them
one,
out, buddy. You don't want me to make you big while you show them?
I don't care if you want to, you can.
Yeah, I do. It'll be easier.
I'll
for
make you big, Cal.
Yes, you will. First one is dropping Brock,
Too late, Ryan.
Pena, Alacron.
Ooh.
This is super good shape. I think that's got one tiny little baby blemish on the blade on that side. These scales were blasted by Sawtooth, so it's a very dark, rough wash.
Wash.
That is 1, 2, M2 Jaeger, blackout hit.
Jaeger.
That's a fantastic knife.
Yep. 3, a customized MBK Rosalinda in squatch green with blackout hardware.
Ooh. Your Rosalinda, dude.
Oh, that's sexy.
4 is not this configuration, but it'll be this blade. Is a PM2 in Maximet with the stock gray G10 scales. But that blade,
Nice. Looks like it's got a coonly edge on it.
and then this one is, I'm not sure on yet, but maybe, is a full tie XM24 skinny Warncliffe with the updated hardware, and that is a BGM regrind on it too.
Damn, dude. Those are some bangers. That Pena is probably my favorite Pena design.
It's my favorite Pena design as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks more knifey than any. I've got a smaller Pena that Paul Mills and I traded for I carry it. It's a great little knife. That one's got studs, didn't it?
Yes, it does.
Very nice. Y'all hit Kyle up if you're interested in any of those blades. They are bangers.
Yeah,
And that
those
one Bugsy got. Are you liking it, Bugsy?
Yeah, it's dope.
And that's something monkey.
Space Monkey.
Space monkey.
It's named after like a moon around Saturn or something like that. The AOD.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. One of his favorite designs. He's got like what 5 or 6 designs, 4 designs.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I kind of wanted to try to find an Orion just because I always had like a thing
that the
with
Hawkbill?
constellation. The what?
Is that the Hawkbill version he does?
I forget what actually makes it the Orion. I just wanted it because of the name.
Okay. I say he does a Hawkbill one I like as well too.
Yeah, I like a lot of his stuff.
That's a
I
gorgeous.
haven't gotten to handle a lot of it though. Like it's all just looking at it.
And see, I didn't even see his table when we were together at Blade Show. I didn't see so much stuff today.
Yeah.
Oh, you misplaced it. You didn't lose it.
Yeah, I mean there was so many. I was trying to find a couple tables. It took me a long time.
Well, the
They didn't have
tables
a
were
good,
tricky
like,
if they didn't have
label.
anything above them. You
Yeah.
literally, I mean, you had to be walking, looking back and forth, or you'd miss it.
Yeah, like and like this year there was no like good numbering or anything like lettering to try to find like the lanes and the numbers.
No, there was no
Couldn't tell where the hell
methodology.
anything was.
And what I noticed is what I did last year, I tried this year. Like I'd ask an exhibitor, which table is this? So I could figure out where I was. And a lot of times they're like, I don't know, because they were just working the booth. You know, they didn't set it
Yeah.
up. They didn't know where they were.
Yeah,
And
that was a little
everybody takes
irritating.
down their.
They had all the lanes marked in the ballroom.
The ballroom did have them marked. The
But
banger
the big
room.
room did not. I had to count tables to find specific.
Oh, really, Terry? That's my
Terry,
favorite.
That's my favorite blade shape, buddy. I've got the Warney half track, but I get it. Everybody likes different shapes. The
See, I
Pender
don't like-
Warney is
I
positioned.
don't like the
for
Warney in the
cutting.
half track at all.
So,
But it's
Ryan-
got the same angle, doesn't it? The XM18, I know it's a XM24 has a totally different feel, but the Warney blade has that same taper, doesn't it?
No, a different angle because the half track.
You ever show off everything you got at Blade, right?
So here,
I
John,
did.
this one sits straight across.
I got you.
That the half track sits like that, and then the blade goes out.
I'm looking at it now. You're right. Totally different.
I like on that small frame. I don't like the way it looks at all.
Yeah, it kicks up where yours is, like you say, it's more at a straight angle.
Yeah.
We got in an XM18 slicer grind, hollow grind. It's got the H on the pivot. Very, very mild hollow, but it's got mint green factory scale and a tan G10 scale, and it looks awesome. I just don't know if I could ever find a mint green titanium showside scale for it.
You
Have you
just get
seen that?
high scale and then have it anode to match.
Well, that's what Tate said. That's what Tate at Knives and More said I could do. He's
Sounds
trying
like
to.
Nate's got some common sense.
Well, I don't really. I don't love the Spanto blade shape, but
I hate
like.
Spantos.
I know,
That's-
but I like the way it. My action is dialed in on it. I love it. I did take the angle down to I think 19 at Jared Neves.
The Spanto is the
Least
worst blade shape that they do.
I agree. Again, if I hadn't already kind of loved and lived with this one, I wouldn't be as. And it doesn't even have fancy hardware. My Eclipse is more pimped out than this.
There's a full tie Eclipse Warney that I just did for someone,
That's very good looking.
but it's still not my Eclipse,
I've got this flipperless.
which is this bad boy. Harpoon,
Yeah, yours is dope. Flip it around.
Harpoon Spanto, reground by Satu, copper scales, black hardware on this side. I call this the two-face because this side is blacked out with copper.
I like that.
I
That's
like
sick.
black copper.
Now, did you color
Nasty.
that, Kyle? You had that Cerakote, didn't you? Or did that come battle black and you did the scale? I can't
No,
remember.
that's Cerakote.
It looks dope.
Yeah.
Force Peen. How you liking that?
Dr. Drew,
Right.
dude, I like that, buddy.
Yeah, you do, Drew.
That
But hey,
very-
whatever works.
I love the action.
I saw a really negative Hinder review from what's his name? JDEDC. I forget what his channel's name is. He was whining at the flipper action in his 2.5, the 3.5, whatever. And he was bummed out about it. And to me, it looked like perfect Hinder action. Because he was trying to fail it, and it wouldn't.
I didn't like them early on, but man, there's not one that you put in your hand that does not feel good. Ergonomics on them are perfect.
I agree. I mean, I think it's a great knife.
How do you like that, Ryan?
I love it.
Do you?
I haven't had a chance to carry it yet, but
How's
will
it
get
feel
tomorrow?
of your modern folders? What would you say is your smoothest? Is it Grimsmo up there?
It's up there, but the protein is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
It is
Is that the Prince?
Yeah.
yeah.
I noticed about the Grimsmos though, man. I can do this for years, and it doesn't get any worse.
It doesn't change.
Nope.
Yeah.
I got this from Dr. Drew, and I could tell it's broke in.
Yeah. That one is.
And it's got my birthday. It was made on my birthday in 2020.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to
What did you think I was going to say?
say. I thought you were grabbing a piece of paper.
No, that son of a bitch has got a goddamn Kyle edge on it for sure. I've got to be very careful with it because this thing will drop closed on my thumb in a heartbeat.
It comes with the best lube in the business, in my opinion, too. I love nano oil.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know what? You can turn that pivot screw a tiny bit, and it adjusts that pivot like perfectly. Like it's you don't have to like mess with it.
Congrats, Chuck. Dang, baller.
Ooh. Now, Ryan, is you got two proteins, right? You got one with a red scale. Am I thinking right? The right knife?
Yeah. I've got the red glass. It was a custom. Then I got a Tonto, one of the new Tontos, and then trying to think of what that other one is. I can't remember if it's a skeleton or not.
Which one? The red one?
No.
Or your third one?
Yeah. Hell, it was the first one I got, and I can't remember. I want to say that it's not skeleton, but for some reason,
I don't think the third one is.
I don't think it is either.
I remember correctly, I thought it was a milled version, but it wasn't wasn't hollowed, it wasn't skelly. Congrats,
I think it's just milled this color.
Right. Congrats, D. Plunkett make nice knives.
There's so many I need to learn about, like Plunkett.
Plunkett's a South African maker.
The best buys in custom knives, in my opinion. You can get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, there's one downside to their knives. I'm like, there's some of the phenomenal knives like Trevor Berger, Plunkett. There's a handful of guys over there that make phenomenal stuff. But the issue with them sometimes is, for me, is choice of steel. But they get what they get. They don't get the chance to work with a whole lot. Plus, they like using RWL 34 a lot and N690. Occasionally, they'll get M390, but that's about it. So that, but they make some phenomenal stuff though.
I know my my bougie or Boker is an RWL 34, one that was made in Solingen, Germany. My AK1. I don't know much about it. It seems to have held up for my weak cardboard cutting.
RWL 34 is CPM 154. Well,
Okay.
154 CM. It's the same family. Congrats, Double D. That's awesome. And Chuckles, look at you go, buddy. Dang. I'm not a Machine Wise fan at all, but the Rosie XL is not bad. I don't care for the Rosie original size at all. But
see, I like the Rosie original size much better than the XL personally. And I held we've got a guy that works at the car dealership down the street who brought in a Demco XL, and that thing was humongous. I forget what it's called.
I can't imagine a Demco XL.
It's huge, dude. It's like a 20.
You see the one at the show? You go to the booth? You didn't go to the show and see he's got one, the triple or double or triple XL that they had at the show.
That's the one that this guy has, the triple XL. The thing's huge. And he's got a couple of new blade shapes, the Butcher blade, I think it's called. And what's weird about his booth, I can't figure it out. They've got different price knives because I guess some of them are Italian blades, some of them are American blades, and then you've got all the Taiwan stuff. They look pretty much indistinguishable when you're at a show, and they've got like a menu sitting up on the glass that has all the different breakdowns of the different pricing. So it's kind of confusing. And I don't know. I remember Andrew did a video on while they were partnering with Italy to do lower price machine ground blades. But I don't know, of all places, I thought Italy was thought of as the shittiest place to go.
And you know who's that knife is perfect for if you ever got rid of it?
Talking to me?
That your name's Ryan.
I didn't hear you say Ryan, my bad.
I said, you know who that knife is perfect for if you ever got rid of it?
Who's this one?
Yeah.
Me.
I said if you got rid of it.
No.
Satisfaction. Matty. He loves red and black.
Oh, does he?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
That's a gorgeous knife. The one that the lottery knife, I still think, I love that blade, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool, man. That's just fierce.
Do
you have your lottery knife there?
Yeah.
That's
beautiful.
Chuck it. The issue I had was with the snore. To be fair, I've not held a Mojave yet, but the snore was absolute junk.
Look at that damn steel on those scales.
Yeah, that's stunning.
That's stunning. I mean, dude, that's just sick.
I'm trying to get
that guy. I met him. I got to meet him at Blaze Show for the first time. He's young.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've held a nicer knife because to me, I know those Mojaves, the Oz, my
love that Damascus, man.
It's sexy. Thank you.
My I always forget the name of this knife. I've got the mini version, but it's a bougie American CNC knife that for some reason I can't think of the name of it because I've got Alzheimer's disease. But I like those edgy blade works as much as anything I think I've held. I just think they're so ugly you have to love them.
Yeah, they're odd, but at the same time, like
they're unique and they're useful though. If you actually cut with them, they're useful.
Yeah, like it's like it's hard to make a knife that nobody else has already made. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's 100% original and functional.
Yeah, and you see one of his blade shapes, and without even knowing that it's an edgy, you know it's an edgy.
That looks like one of his blade shapes almost.
Right, exactly. Like
It's not, but it looks like one of his.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason why
Every time I see one of those knives, I think it's an edgy.
the reason why I got this is solely because of the blade shape. I love that blade shape.
Yeah.
Me.
And like you say, it's a very functional shape. They're great for cutting. That damn steel is just too gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew when I saw this one, like it was, I wouldn't leave him without it.
Oh, look who it is.
What's up, brother?
Hey, who's that guy?
I don't know. It's
I
not
agree,
caps.
Paul.
I can't read it.
I don't know. I can't read bullshit, so that don't make sense to me.
I've got the concept tipper, and I love that knife. It's nothing like an original custom.
I bought concept last year.
Yeah, I talked you into it because he was.
Well, I couldn't get my hands on an edgy last year. But
it's still fun to cut with, but yeah, it's not the same.
I wish y'all could see Heyman's face when he walked around the corner and saw that I beat him to that table.
Was he
he come bebopping around that corner. He's the biggest smiling face. He saw me. He goes, "What are you doing here?"
Say, Javon threw himself on a sword for us.
Did Jamie get one? Ryan, did Jamie get one?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, you got to have him on, man. I bumped into him more than anybody else at Blade Show.
You will. Like it's almost like there's more than two of them.
Yeah, right.
He's everywhere.
Who's that?
Hey man.
Hey man.
Oh, hey man. I thought you said Jamie. Yeah, hey man. You see him at every corner. It's a trip. It's like the Matrix, or we just travel but he can't travel in the same pack with everybody, and we all would see him. And there are people that were there that I didn't see once.
Yeah, I was looking for
I'm
you
in
for a
the I
good
think
hour.
he's in the Matrix.
And I found him like 5 times and didn't see you once.
I'm hard to find, man, because I'm short.
Yeah, but I know what I'm looking for. I'm really good at picking out shit in crowds.
The top of my head going by at a rapid pace.
But no, I was looking to have you look at that table that was next to Sharif's.
I'm so glad, and I was going to get up and get his card. Do you remember his name? I know it's Cody, but it's something. The knife name is.
He just had some really cool like, yeah. Well,
hold on a sec.
Just his combination of materials and stuff was cool.
He has some sexy stuff over there.
I really like that one with the Fordite on it. I don't usually like that kind of stuff, but it's old Dodge Leaf Spring.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that somebody hijacked Edgy's account.
No.
Because he's not typing in caps.
Maybe he's floating right now as well and can't figure out where the caps is.
I still think this is one of the sexiest pickups that I had.
Paul, but the only downside with Craig Brown's, I mean, they're not technically customs. They're production / mid-techs. He makes a great knife, but they're probably machined better, but they don't feel the same as some of those customs.
Not your average Cooper. And his name is Cody Cooper.
Yeah.
And he made this little knife. And I don't know if you're in here, Bugsy, but this little knife has got...
Richard, you could ride Shane's shoulders around.
A very thick spine. But it is so freaking slicey. And what I love about the thick spine is I carry it in my back pocket, and it carries like a dream. And check this thing out.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just sharpened so well. I'm going to have him on here in the near future.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to some of you guys maybe after we jump off here or something. I did notice particularly one table with some horrible edges.
Really? Yeah, we'll talk about that offline. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
we also, I think Super Steel Steve was on to something that I talked to Tate about at Knives and More, because we're a Microtech dealer. And he was like, I have noticed, because we talked about the availability of how they, even as a dealer, had to wait for stuff, and now you can get it. As soon as they started their partnership with Reich on those couple of knives, all of a sudden their knives are readily available. And Steve at lunch, I don't know, Bugsy, were you in on that conversation? You were sitting down at that end of the table where he
I heard
thinks
y'all
that,
talking about it.
yeah, that he thinks that they're pulling some shenanigans with overseas
I mean, it's possible,
manufacturing.
but without having any proof, it's tough to point
Right.
that.
But his proof was, or his logic was based upon their expansion, their recent expansion.
I get it, but that's still not proof. That's just hyperbole.
No.
I mean, if you think about it too, I mean, every store, every gun store, every gun show, every knife show, every knife vendor,
we have
that
over
buys
50
stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean.
in stock.
Everybody's got tons of them.
And it used
But
to
I
not be
mean,
that way.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're sitting, they're not selling as much.
There's a lot of way, and again, I don't think there's necessarily shenanigans there. I thought it was interesting that he brought it up, and he had been thinking about it, he said, for a while, and I forget what event he drew it back to, but it had, I don't know what it was with the out the front availability. But it's just hard to tell. And then again, what is really an American made knife when we don't have all the materials here to, make some of the stuff.
I want to answer something real quick. So
All right.
This I agree with to a point, not completely, but I'm not disagreeing with you. Going to Paul's point, because he does maker's choice doesn't make him a custom maker. To me, a custom knife is building it one at a time, and then going on to the next knife and building it. He's doing batch production runs, but he does such high quality. His knives are very, very well done. The tolerances are phenomenal. I put him as one of the higher mid-tech or CNC productions out there. But yeah, I completely agree. He does phenomenal knives, but I wouldn't put him as a custom.
But because I think there's a podcast that
they changed that
did where they were trying to figure out, and listen to this logic. And this is something that was from Gary's podcast that they were talking about that I found interesting that I'd never thought of before. Like, yeah, customs one-off using, the tools. I think the more rustic the tools, the more custom and impressive it is to me. But Gary and them in their podcast were talking about the fact that CNC machine is a tool, and if you've made knives before, it's a tool that you have to learn a skill on. So can you really penalize a manufacturer, a maker, if they're using that tool, but they're still doing everything under one roof? And to me, I was like, well, that's kind of a good, hard thing to say, that just because you're using a modern robotic tool, if you're doing it like Grimsmo under one roof, is it not still every bit as custom? And I know that since it's set into that machine or into that tool to replicate, it's
Drew.
not as one-off, but custom is not one-off according to that podcast. It was the making of the knife using tools and doing everything under one roof.
So, Chuck, that I just looked, because I wasn't quite believing it either, but I looked it up the other day, Tuesday night on the stream, and according to the new law that was passed by the FTC, it has to be all made and sourced, including parts, with negligible foreign content. I think that was as close to the verbiage as I recall.
Well, which would mean that anything coming from an overseas steel company like Bowler wouldn't be necessarily count.
I don't know that. I mean, that's a.
It's kind of a gray area, isn't it? Because that's a
and they wrote it as a. Unfortunately, they wrote it into a litigious form because it is very gray area on how much is negligible, because that's not a definitive word for a law.
You're right. It's a legalese term that you could argue in court. What is negligible? Depends on what your definition of is.
So they can litigate endlessly and the court can make money over and over and over and over again on the same thing.
Richard has a question for you, Bugsy, about how many Spydercos you got in your collection.
Now? Good question.
Thanks, Bugsy.
6.
I even broke it all the way down to use your carbon fiber backspacer to take my Taiwan out.
Technically, Chuck, majority of them, that's correct.
I probably got 25. Sorry, man.
That's all right. Go ahead.
No, it's cool. I think I got like 25 of them. Probably.
I think as far as knife companies, my number one favorite is TRM because of Marianne and Les and their slicey knives. But my second favorite for me is probably Spyderco. And if I counted my knives, I probably got more Spydercos than any other American made knife. But so, Kyle, going back to custom knives, so the Rosie and knives like that are really kind of that more mid-tech, right? Because they're being replicated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a production, but so like, yeah. If we're getting super technical, then if you're going down to the steel, then the steel would have to be made in the United States, which
this one wouldn't count.
Which some are, but here's the thing. Well, it could be if it's 20 CV.
This one's M390, I think.
I understand, but here's the thing. Say it is 20 CV, right? And then how technical do you want to get? Because all the ingredients that make up that steel are not sourced from the United States.
Correct.
There are things in their vanadium you can't get here. It comes from Africa and Asia being mined. So depending upon how crazy we want to go, it definitely makes a difference. Here, I'm going to share this because I wasn't quite sure of it either. But
yeah, you made a good point Tuesday night when you looked it up.
Here you go, right here. So this came into effect this year. Virtually all standards for unqualified claims. The legal standard requires a product be labeled as made in the United States, must have final assembly or processing occurred in the U.S. All significant processing must take place domestically, and all or virtually all ingredients or components must be made and sourced in the United States, leaving only negligible amount of foreign content. So here's the thing is components, yes, that can be done easily. But the ingredients part is where it gets questionable.
I agree, because even if I would think that by that definition, the elements in the steel, for example, 20 CV, would be negligible. But the steel, the M390, might take it into the next category because that's the whole part of the blade, right? Does that make any sense? That you could say, hey, Todd, that it would be negligible if it's the lack of vanadium or whatever that we don't have here.
I don't know.
It would be easier to argue than the blade coming from a source like Bowler. Yeah, it would be interesting to find out. And again, who's going to enforce that, right? Because I don't think any of the makers have a strategic advantage over the others because they all seem to be using. I don't know if Greg Medford uses M390.
Here's the thing, though, too. The FTC makes rules and laws because they get passed through, but they're not an enforcement agency. They can find people, they can do whatever, but they don't have like a branch to go out and attack you. I mean, they can. I don't know how
It would
you.
always have to be a complaint filed by somebody to even get the ball rolling, right?
I don't even honestly think they really give a shit when it comes to small things. So
Pretty tempting, Terry.
I don't think that they are going to bat an eye at this. This is for large production scales things.
Right. Yeah, because again, I think everybody is kind of using the same materials from a domestic, but then they're not. Because if you think about Chris Reeve, I don't think Chris Reeve's ever used M390. They just use S35, S45, and MagnaCut, right? Which again now are overseas, but used to not be.
Well,
And
because S35 and S45 were developed by Chris Reeve.
Right. But and then Greg Medford, I don't think's ever used. I know he's used CPM D2. I know he's used S90V. I'm trying to think if he's used anything from Bowler.
He did S35. He did some in S45. What's up, Dawson?
This is a good follow.
That's an interesting one. Question, Dawson, is because yeah, they process it into usable material, but that clearly stated earlier that ingredients. So I don't know how that would account.
I don't know if y'all follow Niagara Specialty Metals, but they post a lot, and I think it's pretty cool. I think that's Magnamax. Those big bars. But they've got all kinds of just really cool raw steel pictures. I guess that's the steel before they roll it, right, Kyle?
Yeah, no. Some of that has been rolled.
Because that's thick stuff, right?
I can't see it very well. Hang on.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to make it any bigger.
You're okay. I just wasn't on the same screen.
That looks like big bars, about 4 inches or 6 inches thick.
Yeah, that's not been completely rolled out. That's just
they're what comes in.
Yeah, that's your stock thickness. Sorry, I was on another screen.
That looks like, is that what they press that stuff with? I don't know what that big machine does.
Everybody.
Hello,
What's up,
Bugsy.
Nick? When billets are heat treated, are heated to precise temperatures, cooled, controlled. I guess that's squishing it down or not?
No,
annealing. That's the annealing.
That's the oven, if I'm not mistaken.
That's exactly what it is. This video shows part of the annealing process.
I was Luke, and you weren't in there, buddy.
And that's the builder stock right there of Magnamax, right? Those little bars, those little thin bars.
Yeah,
that's
wee little expensive bars.
Ready to ship. 24-inch coming soon. I think it's pretty cool how all that stuff works because I'm just stupid when it comes to it.
I think her handle is Coco on YouTube.
Automation.
I'm excited, Luke.
But if y'all aren't following Niagara Specialty Metals, I'll share their handle in the chat. I didn't know they were on Instagram, and I gave them a follow, and I've seen some cool pictures of metal that all look the same. Some of it's brown and some of it's silver looking, and I don't know if that's just the raw.
I don't see that happening, Paul. If anything, it might go the opposite direction because one, it's going to be a specialized that other people aren't going to have access to. It's not going to be sold to make an analogous type like 20CV and M390. It's going to be solely available through Airsteel. And the other part of that too is it's still not. It's expensive, but it's not nearly as expensive as certain other steels. I mean, it's expensive, but there are a lot of crazy other steels out there. The issue with it is just going to be more expensive because of machining.
Kyle, which steel do you think is like extremely overpriced for its performance?
There's quite a few.
Anything that stand out though, like glaringly, like should just not even be in the.
I mean, M390.
Yeah, I kind of when I see M390 and 20 CV, I'm kind of turned off. I don't even know why necessarily, because I haven't proven one to be any worse than the other. But
Because Shane bad talked it as being for cutting plastic, not realizing a lot of it
true,
is
Shane.
cut plastic.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's designed for, is cutting plastic, but that's it. It's not great at any
Abrasive cutting like.
Well, no, it's just not great at any one field, and it's not overly well rounded. It's just so.
125V is way more.
Kyle, what do you know about?
But not as far as grinding though.
What do you know about C250 and C300? That's what I've got on the screen here. I've never heard of either of those.
I know about C3PO.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one, Kyle. I'll give you that.
Protocol droid.
It says this says C250 versus C300. How do you choose? I wonder if these are like steels that they're trying to source from the United States. And it says when ordering, what's a marging steel? MARAGING steel. Marging. I've never seen that word. MARAGING.
It's probably just a test batch.
Maraging steel.
I don't know exactly what it is, but
maybe it's two steels together.
Both they offer exceptional strength and stability, but they serve slightly different needs. C250 provides a strong balance of strength and toughness with better formability before aging. C300 delivers even higher strength. I don't think this is nice steel.
Bugsy, I got two more for you that are outrageous. K390 is crazy expensive, and M398. While I like both of those steels, they are way. I mean, okay, in comparison to Magna Cut, they're almost double the price.
And that's got to be supply and demand, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably just because there's lack of availability.
And typically it's in very limited thicknesses as well too. Like you don't have the selection.
As a maker.
Yeah, I mean, Van X is not that much, Chuck. When you can find it, it's not too bad, honestly. Yeah, BD1N sucks ass, but that's not an expensive steel, though. That's what you need, Dr. Drew. You need some more BD1N so that way you quit popping kids out. Just get a good suck.
Is BD1N not a Spyderco made steel?
It's a steel that they use, yes.
I know they used it, but did they not come up with it?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
Spy 27 is okay. That's proprietary for Spyderco. That's
the one I got confused with it.
It's a slightly.
Can you even get a hold of that stuff?
Spy 27? No, it's only for Spyderco. It was made for Spyderco. Now that Crucible's
I wish they would use the shit. They only put it on a few things.
Here's the original premise of Spy 27 was it was supposed to take the place of BD1N for their lightweight. Well, they ended up making Spy 27 better, and then made it like a slightly less variant of S45. By doing that, they said, well, we're going to keep the price up on it and not replace the BD1N and have its own. It's going to be its own line. So instead of doing the lightweights in Spy 27, they just decided to.
But like instead of doing your 50th anniversary and what was it, S90?
Yes, that is 100% the reason why it's more expensive than certain steels, but it's not in the top 5 of the most expensive steels. So
It's just weird that Spyderco would not use their own proprietary steel in their 50th anniversary knife instead of
well, because
the regular.
S90 is a more regarded steel than Spy 27, so that's why they did it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was my company and I have a proprietary steel, that's the steel I'm putting on my 50th anniversary, not somebody else's steel. You know.
Drew, I would suspect that they probably, if they decide they want to keep that line, they'll outsource it to someone. They'll say they'll go to Air Steel or they'll go to what's it called? Brain fart here.
Carpenter?
Yeah, Carpenter, and say, hey, we want this much batch of it made, but I don't know if they will. If they do, it would probably be through Carpenter because they'll want to be USA and they'll probably buy enough bulk that they'll do something for them because Carpenter doesn't seem to want to sell small batch.
Yeah,
So,
it would seem to me that if they had a proprietary steel made for them, like the Spy 27, that they would have to commit to a lot of it to have nobody else be able to use it. You know, wouldn't you think so? They have to commit to a shit ton of it.
If I was Spyderco, I would open up my own forge or something and have somebody making my steel for my knives. Like at their level,
But
I
Shane,
would absolutely try to control my income of steel, like on my own.
but the amount of money that would go into is not profitable because the reason why these other companies are producing the knife steels because that's a small portion of their business. They're doing tons of other steels for other industries, and this is only a small portion of their business.
Right. But if you know exactly what steel you want, or right within like a small window where you can make a few steels and in like one production building, I don't see why a big knife company like Spyderco wouldn't make that happen.
That's way more money than you're, I think, giving it credit for. That would take so much funds to create that I don't see they'd have to look at that process over making that back in 20 years or 30 years. And I don't see that being an investment.
It's just that like that way, at least you wouldn't have to worry about a steel company going out of business and then
I don't,
you know what I mean?
I get where you're coming from.
It'd be a consistency thing.
Right. I get where you're coming from, but I'm just saying from a business standpoint or financial standpoint, I don't see that happening.
Because how big of a building do you really need to produce a specific kind of steel? It really, I mean.
Well, what was weird is Super Steel Steve was walking around with that little vial.
Yeah.
What was he talking about with that? Do you remember? Y'all know more about it.
That powdered steel.
Yeah, that powder metallurgy that he was talking about, somebody talking about making. Shane would know because he had a little glass vial of metal dust that he said it could be something really cool, and I forget what it was. It wasn't in any form that you could cut with. It was powder, but it was something that somebody in the industry was talking about Bugsy doing something on a small scale, but I think to have the equipment to do anything like that.
Dawson, that's 100%. The energy cost, the specialized tooling, the furnaces, I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into that.
Yeah, and the energy cost is insane.
But to get that up and running is big bucks.
I mean, $1 billion, wouldn't you think? Or to get even.
But there's also a lot of like environmental red tape you got to go through too.
Oh yeah, so I'm thinking
that's part of the issue with.
Yeah.
I'm from Jersey. We don't worry about that.
Neither does New York, apparently, because that was part of the issue with the plant at Crucible. They had some EPA violations that were looming.
Yeah, the one at PA had issues too. It was a tiny, shitty little building, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I've worked on these buildings. There is nothing special about these buildings. They got a couple of machines inside that have been there for 20 years. You know, they got some old heads running them that know what they're doing. That's about it, man. Like it's really not all that much magic going into it, you know.
That's interesting there, though, Todd. I wouldn't know that it has to run 24/7, which means just like a CNC machine, that's turning out parts. If it's not running, it's costing the business money, you know.
See, but these places are making big, huge batches of steel for things not like knives.
I
If
think
you don't
knives-
have to make literally tons and tons and tons of the shit, I don't think it needs to be such a crazy thing. Like, say I wanted to sit down and make, okay, I want to make 1095 and a stainless steel, just two steels. You could probably get that production going for a couple $1 million.
You know, you're looking at 50 to 100.
Because
I don't know,
Shane was
man.
saying the powder, there's a plant near Gadsden, and they spent millions just on the powder substation alone.
You know, I could.
Let's
I
ask
could
Chat
see-
GPT. Y'all
I
keep
could
going.
see Spyderco doing something. There used to be a place down in Sylacauga, Alabama. I don't know if it's like Nimco, something like that. I can't remember what it was. That we used to send molten aluminum to down there. And what they did is they didn't actually alloy the metal. They paid us to alloy the metal. And then we shipped them the metal there. And they either just remelted it into their molds. And then they had one furnace that we actually shipped molten aluminum down there to it. Now, if they had a furnace where they could get the metal, everything already alloyed, remelt it to melt it into their, I could see them doing something like that.
Yeah, I could
if
see
you do
them
something like that,
buying
it's-
up a
it's not
company.
that
Like,
expensive.
Think of Dark Gravity, John.
Do I?
I was just thinking Dark Gravity, his
Yeah.
plant that he works at, and what that would start to kick off.
The power bill is probably over $1 million a day. It sits on the Tennessee River. It's a huge freaking plant that when I used to drive by at 2:00 in the morning when I was traveling all the time, it's lit up just from the power that it's burning. I mean, every window in it's burning at 2:00 in the morning. And it's just, there are people in there making steel. So if you wanted to be a specialty alloy producer, Chat GPT says it's 30 million plus. That's where you begin making your own steel chemistry. You need an induction furnace, a vacuum induction melting or VIM, an electroslag remelting ESR or vacuum arc remelting VAR. You'll need a metallurgical lab and a rolling and grinding equipment. Knife steel such as MagnaCut, CPM, S90V, and 3V are that type of steel.
But
Are
also
produced-
depending on you're going to need even more specialized when you just have to start heating to certain temps to be able to roll these ingots.
Yeah, because it says this is just the entry. It says you have to require vacuum melting and remelting equipment. Plus, the VAR furnace alone can cost many $1 million.
Right.
At this level, you'd be competing with.
I feel like this has got to be some type of gatekeeping, though. Fucking metallurgy is not mad science. It's
so
shit.
on the low style, if you wanted to be a steel service center or a re-roller like Niagara,
I mean, theoretically, it is scientists, but yeah.
No, it's not mad science. It's metal.
right?
Yes,
But
sir.
I think the temperatures and the conditions that you have to control the production of it, you can't do on a small scale. Like I don't think you could do, and maybe you could miniaturize it. I don't know how.
You probably have to make your own shit because it's probably only designed for massive purchases for massive companies. You know, it's not really
It makes
designed.
sense. I mean,
it's like a nuclear reactor. You can only get a big ass one. You can't get like one for your shed. You know.
but you should be able to make using that technology a tiny nuclear reactor.
But so the other issue too that I don't think you're accounting for is, like you mentioned, the not being a scientist, but think about aeronautical. They rely on metallurgy solely for the fact of what can they push a plane to do.
So
Yeah,
you're
but
I'm
I'm talking about just making knife steels, not like arrow steels, not steel for other shit. I'm talking
like
about
if there would be a way to
specifically-
make a profitable small company that's specialized in a few.
Well, see, if you're making a separate
Steel.
company, no, it's never going to be profitable. If you're
That's what I'm
and
getting
you're
to.
already like hundreds of millions of dollars a year, on knives, I think that's nothing. That's a small business loan for them.
No.
Oh yeah,
So here's the issue.
Brian could probably get that loan.
If anyone was going to open up a foundry to do this, they're not going to specialize in it because they can make more money doing else. So Spyderco wanted to take out a side loan to do it. They just make other steels as well too and make more money off of it for other industries.
But do you think there's
Yeah, but
any
that's again, you're
space for
stepping
a
right back
passion
into the same
project?
pile of shit.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So if Spyderco got a shop up and running, right? What they would have to spend to get all of the equipment, everything else running, they would be paying 5 to 20 times the price of what they could buy it for from Aerosteel or from whoever, right? So they're not saving money by doing it themselves. The quality control is not worth paying that much more for it, and they're not going to raise their prices to customers that much more.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be a shame when all these companies shut down and now they got nobody's fucking
I
knives.
agree with that. I mean,
I don't disagree with you, buddy. I'm just saying when you look at the actual
the
numbers
juice being worth the
But
squeeze.
like I said, it all seems like a controlled thing. You know what I mean? Like you can't get into here unless you pay the fucking toll.
Like it's the government or the
you gotta
elite
do it this
controlling
way.
that.
You gotta spend $1 billion. I just don't believe it.
it's the price of paying for certain industries to get into it deep is.
I think
Well,
what
that's what I
Buzz
mean.
was
That's like
saying,
paying to get into a certain poker room.
like
You
in
know
the
what I mean?
old days,
I can play poker
blacksmith,
on my own. You know?
they could do it on a small scale. And I know it wasn't the same type of production, but it was made more available because they didn't have big companies doing stuff like that.
And you know what else? Like, why wouldn't Spyderco just like buy up one of the Crucible buildings?
I think that was an environmental hazard for everybody that looked at it.
Yeah, but environmental hazard.
I think the cleanup was in the billions. I think that's what, because I did the guy from Niagara has a really good video on what we could expect to go away when Crucible was closing. He came out because that was one of their biggest customers, I guess.
John, if you remember correctly, I had a quote unquote whistleblower that didn't want to come on and talk about it, but I was getting info from at the Crucible plant near Buffalo.
Yep.
That said that building, they occupy and use maybe 25%, 30% of that building. The rest of it's dilapidated. The roof is falling in. No one wanted the actual property. It wasn't worth shit. They had EPA violations through the roof. They weren't going to sell that company. That's why it went bankrupt.
Yeah, you can look at any building that's over
exactly
50 years old, and it's going to be the same story.
But that's why I think when
fucking all the historical buildings we do, I mean, I don't even understand why they redo them.
Well, they were built a lot better for one in the old days. Like if you look at some of the buildings in Chicago, I mean that's impressive stuff. And it goes back to that gatekeeping thing you were talking about. I don't think it cost as much in the old days to put up a huge architecturally beautiful building as it does now, probably because there's so many permits you have to get, so many different layers that back in the 1900s you didn't have to have. I don't know that's true. It just seems that everything's accelerated. But that's like Eric Glacier said on that video about China producing a lot of metal. It's because they're still considered an emerging economy. So their infrastructure is still profitable for them to be making a lot of steels. And they're not making exclusively for one industry or another. Where in America, we don't produce shit anymore. Except tech and pharmaceuticals and whatever else smoke and mirrors that there's not a huge use for. The cost of maintaining and running it here, it's easier for us with our global economics to outsource. I don't agree.
The military industrial complex has been shelving all of our new tech for the last 50 years. So it doesn't matter what you come out with. If it's better than what we have out there for sale, that's going on a shelf somewhere and you're going in a body bag.
I mean, there's probably a lot of truth to that, Bugsy. I don't doubt that a bit.
Yep. That's why those scientists are missing right now. Anti-gravity.
We got 8 minutes until
Kill said faction.
That's what you say all the time, and then I have to wait a half hour until those lazy a-holes get on there.
Do they
I'm
not
just
say that
telling
on
you.
him?
Jackasses.
We're going to talk backstage for a second, too, anyway. What are you cutting with there? I'll tell you something that was cool at Blade Show. I'll give Lefty
big
credit.
Big old thick DFK that I was.
That's sick looking. Who made that?
DSK.
DSK knives.
Yep.
Very cool. Lefty had a XL growler. The growler was my favorite Devo knife. It was one of the budget knives, and now they've got one that's about the size of a Cold Steel 4Max frame lock.
And they also had
It
a
was
ridiculous. They had a ridiculous, and they sold it. I don't know who the sucker was. $1,000 Devo.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't see that. And they must have, when did they sell it? The last day?
I don't know.
I didn't much talk to them when I filmed their little booth. Lefty gave me a shirt though, so it was worth it. I got a new Devo shirt. He's the only I didn't see KC's booth. I don't know how I missed him.
Ooh.
But Devo, I just happened to walk past them. They were back in a kind of I guess they had a booth, not a table. They were back over by Microtech and Kaiser.
I don't know. Chuck it probably. I don't know the names of the shit, but that's absolutely insane. I don't care what it is.
And Shane was the only one of us that is in the Kaiser picture this year. We were all out when they
Cranking this hog.
See, you guys have the knowledge that I know Gary's been very complimentary of the product he's getting from Aerosteel. And that's MagnaCut and MagnaMax. I think he thinks the MagnaCut is better than he was getting at the last stage of the Crucible, which makes sense because they were probably on a death rattle.
Yeah, they didn't care. So
yeah,
Aerosteel's got, from my understanding, it has a little bit tighter tolerances, which is a good thing. But
well, you guys got any words for these lovely people before we go offline?
yes, yes, 5 door you did.
5 door. You got me there, buddy. You got me there. I was just thinking big knives. Again, it's my ADHD brain. It pings all over the place. Squirrel.
Ding, ding, ding.
Model 1. It's a fine knife. I didn't get to talk to Michael before he left Sunday, but he left before the show closed. I guess he sold out.
I'm not sure. Doesn't this blade look fake though?
I know
Looks
that
like-
looks wild.
It looks like it's made out of plastic.
Yeah.
It's so thin, dude. You know that's
There's
thinner
no-
behind the
no
edge than a
reflection on it at
TRM
all.
Neutron.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
I think the Neutron's slicier, but that one.
It's
Shane
not.
says
It
thinner.
can't be by definition.
It feels slicier going through paper.
What
so-
than this?
Yeah, I've got
It
both.
can feel that way, but it's not.
I mean, it might be. This feels thicker.
It's not. You look at the behind the edge thickness and the overall blade thickness, and you do the geometry, and there's no possible way.
I'm saying this is thicker than a TRM.
Correct. But at the actual blade, at the bevel, it's thinner. So
Yeah.
if it starts thicker and goes thinner, that's a much more stock removal. It's going to be thinner. I mean, it's going to be
It's gonna
sliced.
go through you. So even if the spine is thicker, which the spine's much thicker, and
Correct.
the behind the edge is thinner, it seems to me that the geometry of this passing through, it's because it's thicker at the top, might not be as smooth as this passing through material, even though it's slightly thicker at the bevel because it's thinner at the top. Is there no truth to that?
Look at the plunge. You can see how much material is like there.
Yeah, I see the
Shane said it.
material that's removed,
Right.
but it still fans out to a thicker top, right? So if it's moving through cardboard or paper, it's having to wedge. Once it pierces or cuts, saws through, it's got to spread it out where the thinner spine, it doesn't have to, it seems like it would splay through the material better. I'm an English psychology guy, so I don't know the science.
I thought I understood edge bevels and stuff until I used this Winkler, because it doesn't seem like it should cut the way it does. It's such a it's such a flat angle at the bevel.
Cutting what, Bugsy? Anything?
I mean, anything. It holds an edge like crazy, and it's just 1095, but like it slices so well, and it just surprises me with such a crazy angle. Like,
All right, gentlemen.
I guess it's just so even that it cuts well, you know?
All right, guys, stick around backstage. Guys, I will see y'all over at said faction. I will not be chatting because I've got to fill up my dad's pills. I'll be doing that, counting pills in the background.
Ice cream too.
9 in the morning, 4 in the evening. Guys, look out for the guy or gal on your left. Look out for the guy or gal on your right. Look out for each other.
Take care of your dad.